We'll continue.
We got a triple threat match featuring a bunch of jabronis. J-Brones. Look at Josh. He's praying.
He's praying over here.
What is he? Some kind of, well, I don't know what
Let's
the
give
fuck.
a moment of silence to take it down to ringside for something.
All right, it's enough silence. All right, Josh, open the effing box. Pull out the prize.
We gotta
We
have
are
a
ready to
countdown.
start here.
Okay, let's take it down to veteran ring official Trevor Mignani.
The Think.
Ladies and gentlemen, this triple threat puzzle match is scheduled for one fall.
One fall!
For the title of Zelda Dungeon Informer Marathon Puzzle Champions of the World. Are our racers ready?
I still don't know what.
I heard
teams
one.
is
Are
doing.
we all
We'll
ready?
bleep out the Informer later.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll be counting this down from 3, 2, 1 to go. On go, you may tear that box open. Well, not tear it open, but open the box. And get started on your puzzles.
Josh is praying.
Mossy's trying to cheat. Hey,
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ding, ding.
woo!
I just saw a box go flying. Who did that? What is the deal? Okay, so Kevin, please explain to me which teams are on who.
Are on who?
I'll explain which
Who's
teams
on
are
what
who,
team is
Slick
what he's
Vic.
trying to say.
So we see the clear divides here. We have Heel Spiteri, Allison, and Kristen taking over the side of this steel black table, immediately sorting pieces. We see Heel Spiteri taking some pieces, passing along to his teammate Allison. We have Gooey Fame on the right here, teaming up with Josh and Spencer. And we have the divide here in the top center of your screen with Thortok, Andrew, and Mossies.
Okay, so
Here we see strategies divide, things go out the window. It's going to be a crazy contest.
all right, so we've got Gooey and Josh. We've got Chicago deep dish and Wisconsin cheese, and we've got some English whatever. What do they got in England? They got dark beer which tastes like shit.
They got pounds.
I'm sorry.
T?
Tea.
We haven't been in this contest.
Cheerio,
1 minute,
mate.
And already,
Cheerio.
Slick Vic
Yes, sir.
is what? So I think that we got Team Kristen over here and Team Gooey are applying sort of similar strats. We got each person taking an individual role in assembling certain pieces of this puzzle to eventually combine them together.
We've got a bunch of Ganondorfs going on here, right?
There's a lot of Ganondorfs versus Links.
Every puzzle is trying to put together a picture of Ganondorf in his stance. All right, in his stance of battle.
He's about to kill Link. He's about to choke slam him.
So that's bad luck because Link has never fucking lost to Ganondorf, has he?
No. Actually, Slick Vic, according to the official timeline in Ocarina of Time, Ganon actually kills Link in one of the timelines.
That's right. You can't take anything away from Ganon.
That's how Link to the Past happened, Slick Vic.
Seeing
Without
a box
Ganon
falling
killing
down here, Gooey
Link.
Fame lifting it up from the table. Sorry to cut you off, Mr. Mosley. So let's take a look.
You don't cut me off.
Let's take a look here at the team of Kristen, Heel Spiteri, and Allison posting up this picture here so all three team members can see the picture presented by Kristen as well as the puzzle box presented to Heel Spiteri and Allison.
Yeah.
And now, Jason, let's take it down to your expert opinion. Seeing the entire puzzle in front of you, what does that give as an advantage to your team?
Here's the actual thing that I've noticed here. The problem is Gooey's working on the lower black table. There is a gap between the two tables where he may lose some pieces down there.
I noticed that.
Could potentially set them back.
And Jason, how are they going to transport whatever they've assembled from that table to the next one?
Exactly.
It's up about 3 inches from the black table.
They're-
I don't feel too good about this strategy.
No.
I'm looking at Gooey's table right now, and he doesn't have a single piece together. What is the strategy here?
It looks
You
like
have
what
to admire the guts and heart of Gooey Fame breaking away from his team, assembling pieces. As you can see, there's a clear divide. You see the red pieces as well as the green pieces and the tan pieces. Gooey Fame clearly taking examination of that box
It also
and
looks
assembling
like-
whatever he can, taking away the pressure of his team.
It looks
It's a
like he's
solid
sorting by
strategy
color,
in my
too.
book. I've seen it implemented before in previous puzzle contests.
Right.
We'll see how it pays off in the long run.
Well, I mean, you got Gooey Fame over here, and he's got the box. He's got the picture on the box, but at the same time, if you notice in front of Josh, he has a picture of the
Taylor,
puzzle. So
I need
they've
more
kind of,
coffee.
While over here on Team Kristen and Spiteri and
Allagash
Allison,
white
they have
coffee.
them both like laying together. They're all trying to do it all at once. We have very clear different strategies in this game already.
Look at. There's a piece teetering on the edge of that black table. Look.
I see it right
There it
there,
is.
Jason.
What
It's
is this?
implemented back into
We've
the
got-
race.
we've got-
Completely fair in this competition.
If
We've
that
got
piece
Team
of,
Riders.
So what you're saying is no
and we've
ring
got
outs.
Moss,
No
Andrew,
ring outs, no
Thorntok,
count outs. Falls
Gooey,
count
Josh.
anywhere.
What is this? We've got one team with an actual team name. Okay, this has got to be some kind of strategy. There are like the Dudley Boys. They've
Well,
got
maybe.
an actual team name.
Slick Vic, that might be the team to win, though.
Which
they may
team is
have
that?
it. Team Riders.
Who's part of Team Riders?
Team
Okay, we
Riders,
got Hill
Allison, Andy
Spiteri.
Spiteri,
We got
and
Allison and
Andy
Kristen.
doing quite the work. I do see a little bit of a foul, but referee, no officials stepped in yet. I see one piece right next to the right of Kristen, doing a little bit of analysis, slow-mo here,
Working
and
its
seeing
way
that
across.
one piece, Kristen making the moves.
It's coming across
crossing the line.
Okay.
Not crossing the wooden bar laid out. Giving a little bit of advantage to Team Gooey, Team Josh, and Spencer, allowing for an ample space. And the commissioner's team of Mossies, Andrew, and Thorntok unfazed. Switching gears, let's take a look at the strategy of having the box laid out. The commissioner's team of Mossies, Andrew, and Thorntok blocking the competition. Slick Vic, is this a strategy that you've seen implemented before? I'm going to go to your in-ring expertise
Every
here.
year, I see the box being stood up by someone, whether it's Locke, whether it's Blake, whether it's Mossies. They're always looking at the box and trying to fit pieces into it. But what they're really trying to do is use geometry. All right? I don't know math myself, but what I can tell is it's ineffective.
Going to take a moment there. You mentioned Locke. Unfortunately, sidelined with a post-matchup accident. Be out for the rest of the Zelda Dungeon Marathon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Subbing in Andrew, taking the place on the commissioner's team, Mossies, Andrew, and Thorntok. Late addition here. I didn't quite catch who threw up the box. However, it seems like a playbook immediately taken from the commissioner.
I will tell you exactly what the problem is there, Kevin. Moss is so used to having Locke as his teammate. They have chemistry together. But this time, Moss is working with Thorntok and Andrew. Okay, there is no chemistry going on here. Therefore, the strategy is null and void.
But Slick Vic, you got to think about it this way. Andrew has been relatively silent this entire marathon.
Sounds like we might have a foul here.
We haven't heard from him. We haven't seen from him. He may have been plotting out a strategy for this puzzle all week. He may be the strong suit.
From my vantage point, I can't tell. I see that Mossies is just fiddling around with puzzle pieces. Thorntok is fiddling around with puzzle pieces. I see boards for Andrew, and I see Allison. What the F is going on?
I mean, Allison, but you gotta take
My coffee's arrived.
You gotta take inventory of Allison. She has her hair up, and we're not saying she has her hair in a ponytail. She has her hair on the top of her head, and that means business, Slick Vic.
You think so?
That
now
means
have-
absolute business.
We
Jason.
now have 2 more boxes standing up.
Jason,
That's
what
right,
do you
expert
think?
analysis
What do you
from
think of the
Jason.
3
They've
boxes
stolen the
happening?
strats of
I think
Team
they're definitely
Mossies.
trying
They've
to
taken
block
the box.
off Team Gooey from being able to see the progression of the other 2 teams. That's what it looks like here. They're
Okay.
building a wall.
They're building a wall. Okay, so you think they are trying to dispatch the victims? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Taking a look at the playing field now, and observing this very carefully, we see some puzzle pieces on the left side of your screen. Kristen encroaching a little bit on that steel table, well within the lines. No official has made a call yet. However, you could see some pieces perhaps cross sides between the team of Gooey, Spencer, and Josh.
They're
and
utilizing
Kristen,
the box
the
now.
writers, Kristen, Allison, and Heel Spiteri. You see this clear divide. However, you can't make out the entirety of this wooden 1x20
Yes.
on this table, making the divide between these teams.
You are very right, Kevin. If you notice there that our Canadian bedfellow Andy is putting pieces in a box. What is the strategy
Back
behind it?
in the box.
Jason, why do you think Andy is putting pieces inside of a box?
The only thing that I can think of that he's trying to pick out the edge pieces and separate those, and then they're going to divide them by color.
I just see him throwing pieces in there randomly, as if to be like, this could be a strategy. But I disagree. Kevin, tell me what you think.
I've called plenty of Canadian puzzle contests. I've seen the strategies developed, a very different technical style of Canadian puzzle performers in these types of competitions. It has a different credence with how you lay out those puzzle pieces. So, Heels Pateri, a veteran of this puzzle business, laying out pieces, allowing his team to strategize, and taking those types of pieces away while conversing with his team. You see the notation, the volume spoken from Allison and Kristen to Heels Pateri, separating those pieces, allowing themselves to divvy up those types of strategies.
I disagree. It looks like there's some dissension between team writers. Looks like Allison is putting up her block to block the view of Andy Spiteri, and Kristen just passing pieces blindly through Allison, as if to be like, hey, this will fit, this will fit.
There's a piece stuck in the box in her hand right now. They're about to lose it.
This is
See
chaos. I see it, Jason. It is quite chaos in this madness of a puzzle game.
So Vic, I went on the field to really get a sense of what's going on.
That puzzle piece is on the floor.
With the puzzles, and it's pretty heated in there. There's some smack talking, like it's very serious right now.
Are you saying there is dissension among team writers?
Not among team writers, no, absolutely not. They got their game face on. Everybody has their game face on, but there's some serious smack talking between the teams going on. This is a very heated battle, Slick Vic.
Mosley, in your analysis, taking a look at the team of the commissioner, Masi Zagopian as well as Andrew and Thortok, we're taking a look at some clear advantages, in my opinion, of a column being laid out of some red pieces.
Oh yeah, I see that over there on the left side. Well, the thing about it is, and what I realized when I was on the field is that, you know, all the teams are raising hell, but like Team Thortok and Mossies and Andrew are relatively quiet. They're relatively calm, collected, very focused on what they're doing, and that may pay off in the end.
Can you chalk that up to the precision of the commissioner and the teams that he's assembled throughout this marathon?
Well, the commissioner is relatively crooked, so I don't know if I could chalk it up to that. But at the same time, I think that there is a very concentrated effort among the commissioner, Moss, to be as good as he can be. Of course, you know, he's not as good as me, especially when it comes to Oracle of Ages, but he tries his best, and that's what we're seeing here.
I'll tell you what, though, Jason, you can't take anything away from the Goo World Order over here on the right side of your screen. Josh, Spencer, and Gooey Fame sorting by colors, not necessarily going for those the borders.
They're not. Yeah, they're
What's
not.
the strategy here?
Right now, their whole side looks a lot more organized than anything else the other two teams are doing on the left.
And now, in your expert opinion, does that have anything to do with the dual tables? Because we're also seeing, and expert analysis will point towards this, you see the two microphones. There's clearly a divide between both tables. The hard steel and the wood tables. But the Goo World Order is working between both of those.
Yes, they're just jumping back and forth.
Now, is that a detriment in your opinion?
Well, like I said, with the slight divide between the two tables, you have the risk for puzzle pieces falling between the tables. But so far, with the ring general there, Gooey, he was able to recover the piece that fell. All right, and now it looks like they're dividing them by color. They're taking their time. They're sorting everything out. The whole right side, they're talking it out. They're pacing themselves. Left side, they look just disheveled right now.
I'll tell you, right at the top of the shaft, though, you can see that there are a couple of pieces that are about to make their way over to the other side, and I don't think they're supposed to. It's making me pretty nervous, Kevin.
Well, Mr. Mosley,
When Thortalk moves his arm, you're going to be able to see him right here.
I've seen the action on the Goo World Order, and you have the central focal point of Mr. Goose of Fame controlling the action. Very large hands on Goose of Fame, able to scoop those puzzle pieces, no matter how many have been assembled, and place those within the legal boundaries wherever those may lie.
Right.
And in the interest of this triple threat match, having the ability to have the left steel side and the wooden side on the right, fair game for all. Slick Vic, we're seeing some divides here on the team riders. We see Andy Heels Pateri dividing those pieces into the box, but now he's looking at the picture, perhaps taking some technical analysis of this puzzle. Where does this play in later on in the contest?
I believe this is showing weakness on the part of Andy Spiteri. He is not a team player. He's putting pieces in the box. He's looking at the cover. Where is Allison and Kristen fit into this equation? I do not know. Now I look on the other side, I see Thortalk picking up the box, putting it square into his face. It's to the point where, what the hell is that guy's name?
Andrew.
Andrew is looking over his shoulder.
He's right there in the bottom center.
Okay, Moss is by himself now.
Moss is a lone wolf.
He is the lone wolf here. He is kind of a constable, I guess you can say.
But Slick Vic, if you
He's
notice,
the Scott Hall.
when you look at when you look at these several different piles of puzzle pieces that you have here, you look at Team Riders. I don't see anything coming together other than off the left hand of Kristen there. You see a little bit of something going on. Gooey, Josh, and Spencer, you can't really see anything. But if you look at Mossy's, Andrew, and Thortalk, you see several different lines connecting. Like they are, I think they're way ahead. I think they're well ahead at this point.
When I look at Gooey, Josh, and Spencer, all I see is a giant mane of hair represented by Spencer, blocking the rest of my view of their puzzle pieces because of his hair.
His hair is massive.
Going back to your point, Mr. Mosley, we're taking a look at, blocked a little bit by the screen, some interference by the woods of Zelda, but taking a look at the direct top center of your screen, Andrew, pulling some incredible analysis off this box, has many pieces assembled.
Oh, he does, yes.
A large portion of Link being brought up. You can't deny this incredible athleticism by Andrew, pulling all these pieces together while the rest of his team provides that incredible technical analysis of this puzzle.
Absolutely,
you see lines emerging, and you see Link being assembled where the other teams are dividing pieces by color. However, Team Riders blocking a little bit by Kristen, who just moved a little bit back conveniently. And I did see a little bit of a divide on the corners being developed there. But the box providing some extra protection between the Team Riders and the other teams that are in this contest. Jason, what do you make of this analysis? Is the box helping with blocking some competition from seeing the strategies?
I think that's the goal, but it doesn't really work in a triple threat match because you've got opponents across from you and then immediately to your side. So they can just peek around the box, see what's going on.
Right. It doesn't really provide much of a protective barrier against other teams to see what you're doing. I don't think that the box is really helping either way because you got to think about it. This is a puzzle. Everybody has the same pieces. If everybody can see the same picture. That's not an advantage over another team necessarily.
Now, taking nothing away from Team Riders, is it also possible, as we see Allison taking deep gaze as well as Heels Pateri, flipping the box and taking a look at this puzzle piece, analyzing all the pieces available to him? Is it possible that you have a double advantage, not a double-edged sword, but a double advantage in having the box blocking any team from seeing whatever you're doing in terms of strategy, as well as being able to view that puzzle and seeing everything in front of you? And when you're looking at someone as intimidating as Ganondorf fighting Link, does it provide an intimidation factor, Mr. Mosley?
Well, Kevin, this is how I see it. This is not like somebody is screen watching your strats. This is not like any other game that we play during the Zelda Dungeon Marathon. This is both a physical and a mental struggle to get this done. And I don't think it matters if you can see what someone else is doing, because you can see it all you want, but you might not be able to pull it off. I don't think that's a very good strategy. So I don't think hiding what you're doing is a very good strategy at all. I think it's a waste of time and effort, actually.
Mosley, I happen to agree with you 100% because Team Riders is not showing any sign of teamwork. We got one person, I believe that's Heel, whatever his name is, throwing pieces into a box.
Spiteri.
We've got Allison looking at the corner of her own table, not making eye contact with any of her teammates. Okay?
Actually, if we could see beyond the beard of Kristen, there is actually something going on
She's
here.
got a corner.
On the bottom,
She's got a corner.
the bottom left corner. There's a corner. Yeah, there's a corner.
There
going
is
on.
dissection
Hate to
between
cut
Team
you off
Riders.
there, Mr. Vic. However, we're seeing a ton of action
Ooh.
developing in the ring.
He just threw their box.
Spencer throwing a box, distracting Kristen from completing his pieces. I'm seeing
Hey,
veteran official Trevor
that's illegal.
Mignani calling the action here. We're gonna send Mr. Mosley out into
Oh,
the field to get
he's
a ruling
calling him
on
out.
this.
He's pulling him out of the match.
Veteran Trevor Mignani is taking a step in. Let's take a look at how this develops.
This is interesting. This is dissecting.
clearly flagrant foul here, and guest celebrity commentator who's been in some puzzle contests before. Jason, what's the ruling on this kind of thing? Is this something you let slide because the commissioner is playing in this?
I don't know, because he clearly reached over the piece of wood, grabbed their lid, and chucked it into the hallway.
I saw some very, very flagrant distractions.
Yeah, which potentially could have, as he was grabbing it, he could have pulled a sleight of hand and grabbed some puzzle pieces as well.
That's right, and you can't tell with this. And we see defensive tactics here by Kristen of Team Riders. Very smart.
Is that
Calculating.
though? He's putting the box
Putting up
back
a box
within reach.
between him and the other competitors in this match. However, taking a look at the way that the ring is set up, we have the 1x20. Getting word here from our veteran official Trevor Mignani. We have a timeout.
This is what
A
happens.
1-minute timeout on Spencer Woods
There are clear rules
for
in this match.
making a flagrant deflection of a box thrown out of ringside, trying to introduce an illegal weapon into this contest.
I believe we got a good game face of Spencer from UK. He was clearly bewildered, I think is the term I believe you use. Would you agree there, Mosley, that Spencer was bewildered?
I would. I think he was very upset. I don't think that Spencer...
Cameraman getting involved here.
He's a newcomer. We see a lot of cords coming out of the bottom side of the screen. But yeah, Spencer, he's a newcomer. He doesn't really know. You know, there's certain things that you just don't do. Unspoken rules, if you will, Kevin, that you just can't do. You can't go.
will.
I mean, if that was the case, if there were no rules, I could go over there and swap everybody's puzzle pieces in the floor and make them pick it up. You can't just do that.
Well, I definitely will, Mr. Mosley, and I'll allow you for a second, Jason, but let me get this in really quick. I've called contests in the United Kingdom. Ruling's very different there. So there's a bit more leniency in the officiating. Spencer obviously used to assembling his puzzle pieces on the other side of the road.
Right, the opposite side of the road from where we're at.
So you have to admit that it's kind of jarring to have a competitor come from across the pond and sort of dive into this contest without much practice. And attempt to compete with these American superstars.
While I 100% agree with you, Kevin, there's no excuse for it. At the same time,
My question was
you
that.
are in
Switching gears
America.
to Mr. Jason.
My question is what caused Spencer to do that? Did somebody say something to him? Did they initiate that action from him? Or is it just, like you said, is he playing by UK rules?
Perhaps playing by some UK rules, a bit more leniency in the officiating. But I caught a glimpse from Spencer looking across through his fuzzy hair, taking a look at the commissioner's team, seeing some pieces being assembled, having some corners being developed, and perhaps a little animosity across the fields, if you will.
I don't know if it was that Spencer was trying to follow the rules of his country. I just think that they're when it comes to the UK, there's a lot of randy individuals that come from that place, and I think he got a little bit too randy. I think that's what happened.
Can't count anything away from Randy Olson, the true inspiration for the Goo World Order.
It's very useful when it comes to gameplay. When it comes to puzzle play, not so much. It can get you in trouble. It can get you set on the floor.
We are now 22 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, and I have yet to see any geometry skills. We have no squares. We have no rectangles. We don't even have a triangle. If you would even say a triforce of wisdom between any of the three teams here.
If I could point your direction, however, Slick Vic, into the left side of Team Riders, there are some clear connections being developed. You have the borders being blocked by Kristen, as well as Allison doing some blocking as well, perhaps to skew the viewers and to come in with that very, very hot combination. There's a clear corner being developed.
I don't see it.
They could be skewing the view of the officials, though, too. We don't know what they're doing. They could have a small pair of scissors and be cutting pieces to fit.
That's
you
right.
You never know.
Veteran official Trevor Mignani, unfortunately unable to see blockage from these competitors. However, in a contest with nine competitors, very difficult to keep track of the action. Slick Vic, I know you've been in contests with multiple racers involved in competitions. How do you stay ahead of having so many people in this contest?
The object of the game there, Kevin, is to spread your elbows wide. Keep the competition away at bay. You grab the pieces and you make them fit. Even if they don't fit, you fit them in as hard as you can, all right? Hardly. All right? And then you look at the puzzle and you look at the box art, okay? You see Andy, the heel.
He
We just saw
dumped
some
out.
incredible action here.
He just dumped out
Spiteri
all the pieces.
dumping the pieces that he was
That
developing
he collected.
in this box.
Yeah.
Straight onto the table. Is this giving up? Is he looking at other competitors on the table?
I
And
think it's
coming
just
up with
a change of strategy.
It's very difficult to tell. Jason, some expert insight on this. What is he doing here? What's getting inside the head of Heel Spiteri? What's the strategy here?
I think his initial plan wasn't panning out, so he gave up on it. He's heading in a new direction. He's seeing what the other teams are doing. He's seeing what his own teammates are doing. And instead of breaking away and doing his own thing, now he's going to start working together.
Okay, 25 minutes into this contest. Surprising amount of 0 donations. Let's try to get some donations into this contest. We're at $3,432 raised and 8 cents. We're at a local time, 10:54, just about 11 p.m. Hoping to get some donations. Maybe we'll do another puzzle if we hit like $20 million. Who knows?
I'll tell you what there, Kevin. If Mossies can get 16 pieces together, then maybe we will get a $16 donation. If Spencer can get a 666 pieces together, the number of the beast shall arise. If Gooey can get, I don't fucking know, what can Gooey get that'll make some donations appear out of nowhere? Because
Hate to cut you off, Slick Vic, but let's take a look at some analysis from the commissioner's team in the top center corner of your display here.
when you say commissioner, do you mean Jack Tunney or do you mean...
Oh, Commissioner,
He was the president.
Commissioner Masi Zagopian with the team
Commissioner of Zelda Dungeon.
with the team of Andrew and Thortok.
Mr. McMossies?
You can see a lot of development on this corner piece. So a divide on Heel Spiteri, who obviously seeing this disconnect between his team and the team of the commissioner. There's a border being developed. We have a border
Some ice in there?
on this map.
His
We
coffee's
have
a
a
little too
border
hot.
as well as some breakup
really
of
hot.
the colors on these pieces. You can see Andrew very, very engaged in the action. Mr. Mosley, does this kind of engagement lead towards a completion of the puzzle, or are we trying to go for exactly all of the borders before we go to the centerpieces?
Well, I think that the general idea with these puzzles is to form the outline and then build from the outside in. However, Andrew, like I said, I think Andrew is a secret weapon. I really do. I think that Andrew has been carefully plotting all week what he's going to do when it comes to this puzzle, and he's got his strats down, and I think he is the he's the team champion of their team.
Moving a piece,
I've seen it. I've
section.
definitely seen it throughout the week. Every time Spencer seems to come up with a new strategy, his hair just gets slightly curlier.
Yeah.
Delving into these pieces here, you can see a very, very incredible divide.
If you notice, we got Andrew over here with the box now, actually taking inventory of what's going on. He has completely taken the box away from his team.
That's right.
And now,
Mr. Mosley, we've seen an orthogonal connection.
We have a huge
at
border
90
on
degrees as our cameraman tries to get in here and take a look at this action.
Kevin,
the team of the commissioner has a 90-degree angle, Slick Vic.
Kevin, allow me to turn the tables on you, and let me ask you, where do you see the current leaderboard in this race? Right now, I see boards propped up on Allison, and I see boards propped up on Andy. I see a board propped up on Taylor, which I believe that Thortok is sharing with. And now we've got a bird's eye view
direct action here
of Mossie's, Taylor, and Thortok, and I believe a yellow shirt. What is that, some Canary Josh over there?
I would like to have an overhead view, like a straight down view of the action going on.
So
I think that would be perfect.
Let me finish my question.
Slick Vic, to answer your question,
Yes.
let's take a look. So in my professional opinion, I'm seeing that the team of the commissioner, Commissioner Masi Segopian, as well as Andrew and Thortok, doing an incredible job of keeping this orthogonal grouping here of the puzzle connected. However, if you were able to see what I'm seeing in brief glimpses of Team Riders, there is some very, very orthogonal.
Is orthogonal a word that existed?
It's
before
90-degree
puzzle?
angles. Orthogonal connection. Allison just sliding it slightly out of view. Of multiple corners,
Kevin,
being developed by the team riders.
do you think Team Riders is working in tandem with each other? Because it looks like Allison is hogging the box for herself, whereas Andy is having to swap between the one in front of Allison. Oh, look, he just moved it himself. Allison has swapped it back.
I think there's a little.
There's some teamwork,
there's some tension.
Or is there dissension?
No, there's no dissension here, Slick Vic. There's mind games being played.
There's some
Allison
tension
delving
going
into
on.
the minds of the rest of the competitors, trying to perhaps catch a glimpse up from the puzzle, a little distraction element. I've seen some looks from Gooey. I've seen some distractions from Josh and Spencer taking a look away, breaking his eyes away from the puzzle, not focusing on the competition at all. Allison playing some very, very strategic mind games.
Well, we got a
want to
different
point out,
view.
Oh, we got a hot
Thortok's
tag.
hand. Thortok's hand. It's on the left side of that wood board. Is he
It looks like Heels
secretly
Pateri
sneaking
taking a step away. We have a tag in.
I'll be
Sorry
back.
to cut you
You
off,
think
Jason.
Thortok is
Taylor
stealing
taking
pieces?
a hot tag into
Hot
Team
tag.
Riders. What do you think this means, Jason? Having fresh blood
I
into this
think
competition.
he just got
What
a
does
little
that mean?
winded. He needed to step away from a minute. He needs to get some hydration in him, refocus, and he'll come back even stronger than before.
Listen, Kevin, I don't know if it's completely legal. Actually, I think I don't know about this.
I
don't know
have
how
to
I
say
feel.
though, Mr. Mosley, that directly next to the commissioner allowing this to happen, it has to be fair game. Far be it from me, an impartial journalist here.
Kevin, you're talking about the most crooked commissioner in the history of everything. He doesn't give a crap what's going on around him.
I do
He
have to
doesn't
say,
even
though,
notice that this guy's over here.
I do have
Kevin.
to say though, the most relevant competition in this contest right now, not to take anything away from the Goo World Order, however, Team Riders, very focused, very close to the level of the commissioner, who I believe is in the lead here. Commissioner allowing this hot tag to continue.
No, I'm a bit peeved.
He may have
that-
not have noticed. He's so focused on his task, on sorting those little pieces there in front of him.
Trevor.
He may not have noticed the hot
Eyes on
tag.
us, man.
No, I don't know how I feel about the fact that you have the most crooked commissioner in the history of the world has absolutely stolen Andrew, which is the most pure-hearted individual in the history of the world, for his own good.
Would you like to see some manipulation there, Mosley?
I don't want to see any manipulation.
I don't give a shit what you think.
I want to
show you
see
some manipulation. Watch this.
Listen,
Spencer,
you need to
Spencer,
calm
look
down.
up. Spencer, look up right now. Okay, he's ignoring me. But usually Spencer will not acknowledge. Hey, Spencer, would you
We're
like?
supposed to be impartial, Slick Vic.
Looks like we're not getting down to our in-ring competition here.
No.
Focusing a little bit more on the action, we're seeing some more development on the 90-degree angle being developed by the commissioner's team. Team GUI fame, though, the Goo World Order, having some lines being developed on the borders. Unfortunately, we're seeing a little action of Spencer's.
Wait,
very fluffy
we're
hair,
hearing
but
a
we
call
see
here.
that right there.
Something's going on.
We hear a commotion.
Somebody's out.
I see
Is
the
Moss
commissioner
leaving?
taking a step away,
Is Moss leaving?
perhaps coming to join us on the commentary team.
Oh, he's worked too hard. He's worked 5 minutes. Oh my God, he's got to take a break now.
Injury timeout.
What happened?
The commissioner dealing with quite the injury.
The commissioner
Let's see
has.
if we can get
What is
some
this gonna
opinion
do
from the
to
commissioner.
Moss's
How's your
team?
team doing, Commish?
I think
Holds
we
for
got
me.
this. This is really a two-man team, if I've ever seen one in my life. Big boy T is pulling up the rear. I have to say, I want to comment on Team Josh here. We have finally found out that Josh and Locke, who are two-time champions, two-time champions,
Oscars again?
we've
are
realized
you out?
that without
My
Locke,
back is killing me right now.
without
Jason.
Locke, Josh is a nobody. Josh
Somebody
is
tagging
the
Slick
Marty
Vic.
Jannetty of that tag team.
Ooh, some harsh words.
Some very harsh words from the commissioner. Also distracting Spencer from this competition.
Guys, this
Spencer's
making the
back
tag
in it,
back
though.
in.
This is how
Spencer's
serious it
back
gets.
in.
This is how serious it gets with this puzzle. It's a very physical and mental, strategic thing here. Moss has thrown his back out. I'm having to massage his back right now and get him back into the game.
They are tearing you up in chat, Moss. They said you quit again.
Now you have to wonder.
This is
You're
some-
like the Daniel Bryan of the marathon.
Listen, it must be real easy to sit behind a keyboard, Kevin, and say what you feel, but you're not in the lines. Then this is
You're not putting your body on the line.
A very emotional situation.
I'll tell you what, though, Mr. Mosley, we have a clear contest of 3 versus 3 versus 2.
His back hurt.
And we're getting some expert opinion.
We have another
from
guy
from
coming
a
over
competitor
here,
in the field, Heel Spiteri,
all the way from Nova
Who's-
Scotia, Canada.
who's left your Team Moblin Club
Let
partner,
me tell you something.
Taylor Wells,
We've
in
got
this contest
we've got two
and
copy
taking
editors.
a break.
We've got 2 copy editors, 1 senior editor. There's no way that we can lose. We are the soul of Zelda Dungeons.
This action moving, we're getting a slightly different camera angle, still being blocked. Team Riders blocking a little bit of the action that's happening.
We don't want to give away our secrets that
Slick
easily.
Vic's back in the mix.
Heel Spiteri, thanks for your time. We're gonna get Slick Vic back here in the commentary.
I got one question
Why don't
for
you go
Hill
tag
Spiteri.
Taylor Wells
I got
back
one.
in?
I got one question for Hill Spiteri. Is there any tension in your amongst your team?
We are a united front.
Okay.
We are in it to win it.
All right.
When that puzzle is finished,
Are you away from your team?
I'm gonna go back there and lead
Wait,
them to victory.
I have a question. What was the strategy with putting the pieces in the box, and then about 10 minutes later you gave up, dumped out all the pieces out of the
I
box?
can't reveal every single strategy that we have. It's a lot for everyone here to comprehend. We have tactics that are in the future, into space. I can't do this anymore. I have a game to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Well, it's about time
You're
that you
introing
got your
yourself?
ass back here, Slick Vic.
Did you miss me,
I
Caleb?
did. My name's not Caleb.
Did you miss me,
I gotta
Mosley?
get some liquid in the system.
Best
right.
of luck, Commissioner.
Some lick.
Take some,
Mossy's
some
liquid-
Tylenol.
Mossy's
courage.
getting too old for puzzles. It's killing him.
Get Kermit back in there.
We need to listen.
An incredible sacrifice
This
in
is
this
what
business.
this is what we go through. I don't want to hear anybody
on out of the
disrespecting this business ever
Hobble on
again.
out.
Mossy's just thrown his back out,
You
putting a
put
puzzle
your life
together.
on the line year in and year out, competing in these types of competitions throwing up boxes.
You got another
assembling
competitor
pieces,
taking a break.
breaking your
I
literal
tagged
back.
Andy back in.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Mosley.
I mean, I put him
Tell
out
me
early.
more about your disrespecting of the business.
You don't disrespect this business. You know, you don't come in here
This
and
is
say,
the profession
oh, well,
of
these
puzzle.
guys, all they have to do is put together a puzzle. Moss has thrown his back out. I already beat him pretty bad at Oracle of Ages the other day, and you know, you just don't feel that pressure unless you're right here in Chicago, Illinois, at the Zelda Dungeon Marathon. You don't know what it's like. So I mean, I don't want to see any disrespect. Anybody saying that this business is, oh, they know how to fall. No, okay?
So what you're saying is this puzzle is not a work.
It's not a work at all, Slick Vic. This is 100% real. Moss is over here. He's taking drugs to try to get back to normal.
Just taking performance enhancers, right?
Switching gears back to the in-ring action, let's take a look at the 3 puzzle boxes. Boxing in Team Riders.
The blood.
We see 2 of these puzzles being faced at
Sympathetic
Team Riders.
face, you know,
Does
get
that give
color,
them double
get
the
sympathy.
advantage of seeing this puzzle being completed?
Listen.
I'm seeing Allison sliding in pieces
No.
to Heels Pateri,
table is
completing
moving.
an orthogonal 90-degree angle in this contest.
Listen, Kevin, I said it from the very beginning. Team Andrew. I'm gonna say it. Team Andrew
the Zelda
is gonna
Wellness
win this because he's got everything Mossy's.
You're not in it.
Listen,
You're
you're
out.
standing over
There's
here
no Team Moss
taking it
without
easy.
you.
I built this team. They are following my instruction.
You're not even in there with them.
Are you not watching when I'm watching?
I'm watching
you standing right
a team that was
here,
ahead,
not
far
in
behind.
there.
Listen,
Because their leader's not there.
This is the
Just like when the NWO came to WWE.
This is the definition of
Mask
a
of
squash
Tooth.
match.
I can't talk the whole time because I would be overshadowing my guest colleagues, Mosley, Kevin, and Jason.
You're his guest.
All right.
Well, that's good to know that we're guest colleagues.
Apparently,
Slick
me and
Vic.
Mosley are the
We don't want
Marty
to spill hot
Jannettis
coffee
of
on the
this
floor.
We
commentary
are.
team.
We're the X-Pac and Road Dog of this commentary team.
No. Josh is the Marty
Ross has got
Jannetty
kids.
of that tag team. Now,
He's completely lost without Locke.
hey, I'm trying to think who's a 3-man team.
Mosley's got kids.
Beer money.
3-man band.
Hey, Mouse, want a hot tag?
Who the hell's that?
Do you want a hot tag?
Hey, get back in the kitchen and make
I
me
don't
some
understand
ribs.
what he's saying.
You have 3 people. You have to play. You got to play the game.
Get in there, Fro.
It's time to play the
There's
game.
Fro.
Time to play the game. Hey, you know who Lemmy reminds me of? He's that guy down the block that's always working on his car.
You know who reminds me of Lemmy right now?
That guy parks his car on the front lawn.
So we have Spencer coming in here trying to get a hot tag, getting the deny. You can, I mean,
Moss can tag out, but he won't allow Spencer. Interesting.
I
Interesting.
didn't tag out. I'm in. I'm in the match.
What are you doing here hanging out with the commentary?
he's over here taking it easy.
He thinks he's CM Punk or something.
Senior
guys-
official counting, making the count of an awfully quick count.
He's getting counted
McNanny
out.
is counting him out. Ref McNanny.
McManny.
McManny.
And he's in.
Commissioner making his way back to the in-ring action. I have to point out, Taylor Wells of Team Riders doing an incredible job of fumbling with this box being stacked up. And Team Riders taking a little bit of control of the action. 2 boxes
I see
of the
a line.
puzzle facing themselves. Apparently one puzzle, Heels Pateri very confident in his abilities.
Here they go, stacking
Going to
pieces
this
in the box again.
Canadian technical strategy of throwing puzzle pieces in the box. However, before this analysis, having 2 boxes up as well as the picture of the puzzle.
You know,
Mr. Mosley, let's get some analysis here. What's the strat going into
well, Kevin,
this?
I don't know what the strat is going into this,
Ooh,
but I can't.
we saw an
in
elbow
all
get
the
thrown
days-
across the table.
In all of my time of calling puzzle showdowns, I have never
Ever
seen a year where there's been so much of, referee McManny coming in here to throw people out, to put them in their place, to tell them they got to get back in the game. Like, the puzzle has gotten to be very serious over the years.
If you've
like, this
seen
is a
anything
show.
from last year's contest.
This is a main event.
A lot of bad blood, a lot of action between these two teams. Or rather, these three teams.
Interesting.
We've seen some strife develop between all three of these teams. 9 members in this contest, with some tags into some other factions in this competition. A lot of heat, a lot of animosity between these teams.
A lot of breaks being taken over here. We have Kristen.
They're doing much better than when I was there.
I just saw Team Riders. They took the top of the box that they were using to check the image, and they're now doubled up the box. What is the strategy with doubling up the box, Vic?
I'm not quite sure if I could speak for Slick Vic. Vic, what are we looking at with this double box strategy?
Sometimes a picture of Ganondorf does not match the real deal. After all, Ganondorf's eyebrows match that of Spock. Have you seen Star Wars, Jason?
Sure.
Not Star Wars. Fucking Star Trek.
I've seen that too.
How the F did I miss that?
I will let you know I've seen both.
Jason, I'm sorry. Kevin has slowed me down.
Switching gears now, let's take a look at the commissioner's team of Thortok and Andrew. It looks like
is that a complete border?
It looks like we've assembled the entire border. Andrew, earlier in this contest, assembled the parts of Link, the green and yellow pieces, coming into play right now. Team Goo World Order has some pieces assembled. Borders are being developed. I see 3 borders. However, nothing has been combined. Team Riders catching up to the team of the Commissioner. However, I think it's the Commissioner's game at this point.
Yeah.
So confident that he's only left 2 competitors in this contest. Jason, what are we seeing here? Can Team Riders catch up?
At this point, I'm not sure. They've got some very unorthodox strategies with using the box, the double stack on the box. They're not even utilizing the little card with the image on it, which they could pass back and forth between teammates. Right now, they're just spinning around a couple little pieces that they got connected. They're not sure exactly where they go. When I look up in the corner and I see Team Moss there, they've got a complete border. They've got most of Link, and I even see some of Ganon's hair. And then you pan over to the right here and you look at Goo World Order, and I see a lot of color organization, but not much assembling.
Now, at this point in the contest, we're 44 minutes, 44 seconds in at a very convenient time when I said that, of Goo World Order dividing those pieces into color coordination in a puzzle, despite those not being the borders. I'm looking at Slick Vic for some expert analysis on this. Do you go for the borders at this point, or when you're 45 minutes in, do you go for the middle pieces, color coordination? What's the strat?
If I was part of Team Riders, I would continue to make the borders. But
I'm not talking about Team Riders here, though. I hate to cut you off, Slick Vic, but we're looking at the Goo World Order. Do we go for the
right
borders
side,
or do we go for the center?
If I was part of the Goo World Order, which entails Gooey, Josh, and Spencer, I would work in tandem. Right now, I see Josh making a 45-degree angle of whatever the F that is. Okay, where at the same time, I see
the right side of the
Spencer off camera doing whatever, God knows what.
All right, guys, I got an important announcement to make.
I've been interrupted
Let's hear it
again.
from Mr.
An
Mosley,
important announcement from the anonymous
General Manager.
If someone donates $3.16, then Team Mossies has to sit out for 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
An incredible announcement brought to our attention
That's
by
from
Mr.
the
Mosley.
anonymous GM, not me.
All right. After that, Vic, they're asking, who's the Hollywood Hogan of the Goo World Order?
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
So while we're here on the commentary team, let's go to the in-ring side analysis. We have senior official Trevor Mignani here taking a look at this contest. Mr. Mignani, Have we seen any blatant flagrant fouls? I saw Spencer Woods was timed out at a certain point. Can you give us your analysis on this
right
competition?
now, so
Spencer
far,
Woods.
Spencer's the only one that's really made any real big moves. But let's just say, I think Twitch chat will be very excited by the conclusion of this battle. The script leaked. I know the ending. It's gonna be a good one.
Kayfabe,
Kayfabe
kayfabe.
is dead. Now, Mr. Mignani, I caught a glimpse in the bottom right corner of the screen. I might need you to jump into action. I saw a white backwards hat, perhaps taking some pieces off the table. If you could step in and maybe take an investigation and see what's going on at the ringside.
Yeah, I'll definitely go take a look. That definitely might have looked like somebody we know, though. That might have been that anonymous GM that we were alluding to earlier. But
Coming to sec.
if they're taking it from the bottom right side of the table, that's just going to put Team Riders and Team Mossies in a better position.
Riders
right now.
on the storm.
Team Mossies is very far ahead. I would like to see something happen to that team. I mean, nothing bad, of course. But.
Switching gears off of Team Mossies, Jason, let's get your expert analysis on Team Riders. We see the borders being divided
Very
here,
quickly.
and some Canadian technical wrestling, technical puzzling, wrestling with those pieces,
Yep.
dumping pieces into the boxes. We see the cohesion of a cohesive unit of the Canadian-influenced Heel Spiteri and Taylor Wells working incredibly well together, dumping pieces into the box.
Yeah.
What do you think going into this kind of strategy? Does it work? Do we see this pay off in the long run? What's your analysis?
I think now they're trying to figure out the borders. They've realized that that's the best strategy. That's the best plan of attack. So now what they're doing is they're taking all the centerpieces and throwing them in the box to separate the centers from the borders. Now, I do notice, though, that...
we see the commissioner here on the left.
there was a donation.
I'm hearing a donation coming from the donation station. We'll have to get that read off in a bit
In just a
after
moment.
we hear some analysis from Jason.
So, yeah, and I can't help but notice they've got a decent amount of link put together. He's kind of hiding it with his hand there. But, you know, maybe like a foreign object, he's just going to pull it out at the last minute and nail him with it. Drop it into place.
At any point in any puzzle contest, it is anyone's game. I'm going to look to Slick Vic here and ask Slick, let's take a look at the Goo World Order. Do they have any hopes of entering back in this contest? Is it all about heart at this point? You can't count them out?
Right now,
Trevor knows there
I
was a
see
donation?
no border. When I look at Team Ryder, when I look at Mossies, Andrew, and Thortok, I see cohesion. I see a border. I see some geometry. I see teamwork. When I look at Gooey, Josh, and Spencer, I see none of that. I see a microphone. I see a yellow shirt that's hogging as much camera space as I can see. And then I see some hair that represents somebody from the UK. But nonetheless, I see no border, no geometry, no pieces inside a box, whatever the F that means. Okay? The point is, no! I see no faith in Gooey, Josh, and Spencer. Unless they can prove me wrong. We're 50 minutes and 30 seconds in, and yet I see no strategy.
Bold statement made by Slick Vic. Now, Slick, let me throw this at you. At this point in the competition, we are more than 50 minutes into this incredible Iron Man puzzle triple threat competition. Do you see fatigue entering into the team of the Goo World Order? We have Spencer, Josh, and Gooey, who have all competed in Breath of the Wild, the previous game played in this marathon. You think that plays into this?
Well, here's the thing there, Kevin. Those three have been the only three in this entire puzzle race that have not broken up. We had Commissioner Mossies come in and give us his thoughts. We had Trevor come in.
We got to kick it over to Trevor.
Trevor's not even part of any of this puzzle.
Let's take it over to our senior official, Trevor Mignani, with a donation reading.
Well, in fact, we did get that $3.16 donation. Woo! Go Team Riders. Hashtag Heel Spiteri. I think Mosley's got some work to do.
We had what's his name?
Heel Spiteri.
Heel Spiteri come by and give us his 2 cents. And since then, their border has expanded. There are sneaking across the border. But in the meantime, when I look at Gooey, Josh, and Spencer, I don't see a border. I see very little teamwork. I don't understand.
Hold on,
how
guys. I got a question for you guys. I got a question. It's a $3.16 donation that asks, how much more to get Slick Vic or Fierce Masonry Mosley to throw the crooked commissioner, Mr. McMossies, through the table?
How much more, Slick Vic?
That's going to cost a lot more than $3.16.
We'll have to run this by
Maybe
the commissioner.
500.
Does that
See if he
rule
wants to
apply
go through a
USCs
table.
now for 3-minute break?
Because
Taking a look at the action now, Slick Vic. Huge developments
OMG.
happening on the Goo World
let 'em know.
Order.
They're
We're
calling
seeing
for,
the
they're calling for the
borders
316 time.
being developed at an orthogonal 90-degree angle. But what's important is in the bottom right corner of your screen, you're seeing the curly locks of Spencer Woods teaming up with the commissioner. The commissioner of all people, helping out the Goo World Order, abandoning his team of Thortalk and Andrew. What an incredible switch here.
Well, Kevin, when I look at that screen, I see a ruffled fair of buckwheat. But when I look at Team Riders, I see almost a full square.
But taking away from Team Riders, let's look at the Goo World Order. They have the commissioner on their side. How could they possibly lose?
Is the
This
commissioner...
contest could be equaled in about several minutes.
I'm confused there, Kevin. Is our commissioner, our beloved commissioner, a turncoat? Has he switched sides?
Far be it from me to know what the commissioner has going through his head, but I will tell you what's happening with the in-ring action. We see Team Riders, as well as what I'm going to say, the commissioner's former team, which seems to be quite abandoned, of Thortalk, Mossies, and Andrew, abandoning their puzzle in favor of the Goo World Order, perhaps lending some credence to keeping themselves alive in this triple threat contest.
OMG. Because now I look at it and I see that
Vic,
Team
we've got one
Andrew
of our competitors
Thortalk.
coming in to talk to you.
I see Team
It looks like we're
Andrew
going to get some in-ring
Thortalk.
analysis from Spencer Woods.
Well,
Are they still
Spencer
in our
Woods,
box?
you have
Right.
interrupted my expert commentary. What
So-
can I
We have-
offer you to say in this fine...
So,
Go ahead, speak.
when you're
Listen,
in that
ladies and
ring,
gentlemen.
the stress levels are sky high. I'm not trying to get this. I'm trying to get Ganondorf in the link area right here, and there's so much stuff going on, especially with 3 puzzles right now. Like in past years, we only had 1, maybe 2 puzzles, but I'm really struggling here, and especially since you know they've got these border pieces here, and these guys over here. These
Talking about struggling. And
hey Andrew, you
and
shut
you're
shut
over
your
here not even
mouth.
trying.
We've had a development here. I think that Spencer he's had enough. He's had enough. He can't.
I can't handle it. I think
Can't do it. We have had Mossie's throw his back out. We've had Spencer tap out.
I've been
serious business,
I've leant
Kevin. How do
over
you feel about
this table here for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Kevin,
I don't know
take
how-
it take
I
it
don't
away.
know quite how I feel about it, but you have to look at the in-ring action happening here. We have an entire team abandoned.
I feel
In
really
the
bad.
Top
When can I
corner.
get back in the game?
We have the Goo World Order looking to
three
delve
minutes.
You've got 1
into
minute,
some
16
analysis,
seconds
Yes,
left.
Jason.
doing
Thank you,
quite
thank
well. And we have Spencer Woods.
I feel like I've betrayed my team here. I feel I was tagging up with Josh and Goo, my Breath of the Wild partners,
It
but
looks like Massis is taking pity on your team.
this is the
Sure.
first puzzle I've ever
It
attempted,
looks
and
like
I
he
got
jumped to their team. He's taking pity on them.
you can't
Massis,
Because
calm
he
down.
thinks they're weak.
Masisa back there, Mashish. But back here, you can't actually see it on screen, but we have a little Link and a Ganondorf set up
To be
here,
fair,
which I was working on.
I feel like we've kind of hit a plateau.
Oh yeah, you stop.
The greatest plateau.
'Cause,
Maybe even.
a lot of
40 seconds.
most of the part that's left is like it's all pretty homogenous. It's kind of difficult to
Spencer, I'm
Yeah?
very glad you joined us to offer your 2 cents.
Oh, hey.
But what the hell are you doing leaving your team behind?
I can't do it.
Keep us... Look at that square that Mossies, Andrew, and Thortalk have. Why aren't you there helping your
Spencer, you
team?
have no right Yeah, to complain
yeah.
about
I
losing.
keep-
Like,
at least
over
I
here
keep up to date with what my
doing
team's
nothing.
doing.
10, 9, 8.
I'm no puzzle
7,
master here.
6,
I really can't do this.
5,
I don't get the
It's like
likes.
Spencer
4,
counted it out.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
at least I'm keeping up to date on how my team's
All right,
doing.
Kevin.
Thanks for stopping by, Spencer.
Kevin, I still don't see a square or any kind of geometry on the right side of the page here. Do you think that the team of Gooey, Josh, and Spencer has any chance in hell?
I think what happened, Slick Vic, is that at the beginning of this contest, which was scheduled for one fall,
One fall.
was the issue that developed in this team was sorting by color, not dealing with the corners, hoping to get maybe perhaps 1/3 of the team developing those corners, and you can't win this contest with 1/3 of a team.
I agree.
You have to have a cohesive unit.
1/3 of a team is
which,
only
if we look
33%.
at, with team writers and the commissioner's team, despite the number of adversities, worked as a cohesive unit to develop the borders, which is the backbone of a puzzle competition, and then developing the internal structure of what would be the finality of this puzzle. We're looking at a tag in here from Kristen. Kristen, Allison, and Taylor working on Team Riders. Taylor perhaps throwing a little bit of shade into Andrew, blocking the left side of the wooden table, that hard oak wood, from placing some pieces down.
I see that, Kevin. And I look at the screen right now. I see Taylor using his forearm and the box to block away any kind of defensive strategy away from Massey's, Andrew, and Thortok. Jason, where do you analysis? What's your analysis?
Where do you analysis?
I hate to say it, but it looks like the Goo World Order is really falling behind to the point that Moss has jumped over. He has turned his back on his team, and he has joined the Goo World Order. What number is he member-wise?
Let me tell you something about that crooked commissioner.
Join in.
We have the leader of the Moblin Club, Heel Spiteri, giving some insight to some in-ring action developing here in the Ocarina of Time 3D puzzle.
You see those three writers right there? Born and bred champions.
I see them
Born
right
and
here.
bred champions. There's no way that we're gonna lose, even if Commissioner Mossie's and his crooked rulings switch teams, switch sides, make up rules, reverse decisions.
Now you say those words, Heel Spiteri. However,
we've got
is
box
it true
touching.
that
We've got
you've
box
not
touching.
been in this competition and made
They're
the
trying to knock.
tag into
Team Moss
Mr.
is trying
Taylor
to knock over
Wells,
the Riders box.
stepping away from Team Riders to perhaps pursue some outside healing.
Let me tell you
outside
something.
Endeavors.
I'm a visionary. I see the forest, not the trees.
If you could see the forest and not the trees, why aren't you in this competition?
Now, let me tell you, I don't know who tampered with our puzzle before. Somebody got in there, they connected a bunch of pieces where they shouldn't have been. I think it was that crooked commissioner.
So what you're saying is your puzzle was tampered with before you got it.
That's right. And you know who bought those puzzles? You know who bought those puzzles.
Yep. What? They're saying that there was another $3.16 donation. We'll wait for Trevor to come back to confirm that.
We'll go down to our in-ring official, Trevor Mignani, veteran official, in a moment. But let's take a look at the action in the ring right now. Team Riders developing some inside puzzle pieces. And we see the team of the commissioner's pocket team, apparently.
Oh no, Link just broke
Thortok
apart.
and Andrew, with a very, very closely developed 25% of the puzzle, if I could say that, perhaps 35% of the puzzle developed with Link and the sword on the left side of the puzzle, as well as pieces of Ganon.
You know what? And that's what happens when you use a walkthrough to do these puzzles.
Can't count anything away from Heel Spiteri and the Team Riders. Very close to catching up with the commissioner's team of Mossie's, Andrew, and Thortok. However, if you've been following our in-ring action, the commissioner helping the team perhaps for nefarious reasons, we can't speculate on those, of Gooey, Josh, and Spencer. Spencer completely abandoning this competition, perhaps looking towards the
Is Spencer
future
officially
of
tapped out?
Spirit Tracks.
I just want to get a last word in here, Kevin, before I go
Alright.
and take over my
Let's
team here.
let's hear some last words
they
from
said
Heels
there was
Pateri before he
another
gets back into the action.
$3.16
Heels Pateri, the
Spencer,
board's yours.
Spencer didn't voluntarily abandon this competition. We took him out.
Zelda Dungeon
Okay.
Bot says these people won't last 60 minutes in the ring or in the bedroom.
We have our veteran officials, Trevor Mignani. Trevor, we experienced a donation that happened in your absence. Could we perhaps get a reading from that donation from you in a brief moment?
We read it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, apparently we did. Maybe it was Mr. Mosley who read it and distracted me with a stone cold
it was a
stunner.
question about
blame it on Mr.
putting the commissioner
Mosley.
through a table.
No, they said there was another one after
No,
that.
there was another one
Yeah.
in your absence when
Oh.
you were perhaps
Well, I don't see it up on the screen,
officiating the
so.
reaction. I heard that there was a 316 donation. Woo!
Woo!
Might have been a delayed woo.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me reach under you here,
Yeah,
brother.
grab your,
Can I get a hell yeah? We need a soundbite for a 316 donation.
So
some
looking
glass shattering.
looking back, Slick Vic, we're seeing some perhaps catching up, if I were to use layman's terms, of the team of the Goo World Order with the newly instated commissioner on the right side of your screen, working incredibly rapidly, using that Smash Mouth style, in your face puzzle compilation. We're seeing a lot of centerpieces being developed. We also have some borders developed in this puzzle. I see the box in play on the bottom right side of the screen. Is this something that the Goo World Order has developed from the beginning of this game and only needed the help of the commissioner to push themselves forward?
Well, Kevin, a minute ago, I saw Josh face palming his team. Did you not notice that?
I don't quite think I interpreted that as face palming. It could have been intent thinking. You
Now-
look at Josh; he's a very smart thinker.
Josh-
Wearing the glasses, the only glasses member of his team, perhaps frowning the brow, looking at the puzzles in front of him.
With Josh, I see elbows all over the table, which is disrespectful and unprofessional.
Well, you can see it's really a fatigue thing right now.
Josh,
We're
going
over
for
an
that-
hour into this puzzle.
Josh going for that thinking and still
See?
moving
There's
pieces
the,
in.
There's the face palm.
Fatigue happening. I'm noticing Josh sucking air at an hour and 4 minutes.
Do you not
Almost
see
at
the
an
face
hour
palm?
and 5 minutes into this Iron Man contest.
Did you not see the face palm there?
Let's switch gears now to the team originally sponsored by the commissioner, which is developed into the tag team of Thortalk and Andrew, working incredibly well together as a cohesive unit, using the puzzle piece box to develop an incredible assemblage of Link on the left side of the puzzle, as well as a piece of Ganon. And we've seen from now until the past 15 minutes ago a very clear development of the puzzle. Some pieces sliding into place as they were of the entirety of the puzzle, clearly ascending above Team Riders using those Canadian technical tactics of dividing the pieces into the box. And we're seeing some chair action. Andrew introducing a steel chair into the match. Slick Vic, what are we seeing here with the team of Andrew and Thortalk?
Well, hold on, that chair is moving around.
A lot of chair action developing.
Thortalk is appear my screen. And I see...
You got a bar stool.
We have a bar stool gaining some height in this competition. We'll see if it pays off. Maybe we'll get some insight from veteran official Trevor Mignani. Looking at the bottom left of your display, we see Team Riders with a lot of gold pieces in the top. If you were looking at from their perspective, the top left portion of the Ganon area of their screen, illuminating some light, proverbially, into their puzzle piece. A lot of red pieces, a lot of gold pieces. From someone who's seen this puzzle business for the and a veteran in this puzzle business.
I mean, I've been doing puzzles for 20 years, so this is it's a common strategy, group by color, group by theme. It's the way to get through a puzzle pretty quickly. You look at the top of your screen, the Moss Andrew Thortalk team, and you notice that their pacing is essentially slowed to a crawl at this point.
Is the numbers game catching up, perhaps, with Thortalk and Andrew with the team of Team Riders?
I think Team Riders is much like the news cycle is going to be hot and cold. I think they're. I think they've got a lot of pieces to go here. I mean, they got a whole mess in that box there. I mean,
I have to say though, you can't deny the heart of the Goo World Order.
I think the Goo
Gooey
World
fame
Order. I think the Goo World Order's got a shot at
the
this.
Goo World Order, Gooey fame, with Josh, his resilient ally, teaming up with the Commissioner, gathering some pieces, gaining momentum, and the key word is momentum. Unifying borders, assembling Ganon. A very bold strategy, assembling all those red pieces.
I did get to take a look down at that bottom right of the screen. It's kind of obscured by our camera and a little bit out of frame.
Very difficult to see,
But
however.
what's down there is almost a completed centerpiece of the puzzle.
I'd hate to say it, but it's a toss-up right here between Team Riders and the new team of Andrew, who apparently seems to be by himself. Thortalk abandoning him in his time of light. Looks like he's inserting a steel chair into this competition. We're gonna see how that steel chair plays out in this now hardcore match. It looks like the competition has developed. We saw people standing at the beginning of this contest. However, at $1:09 almost into this match, everyone seems to be sitting. The Commissioner's standing up. He threw his back out before. A lot of competitors standing in this, or rather sitting in this competition. Is fatigue settling into this puzzle?
Oh, it's definitely obvious. I've seen a bunch of races go for the water or coffee, as it may be, as they've been going through this puzzle. The team of Josh, Gooey, and I guess it's Mossy now, because Spencer just had to tap out of this one.
Difficult for competitors to drink down the coffee. We see some clear struggles of Goose of Fame, of the Goo World Order. Looks like the hand is either gripping for analysis, maybe understanding this puzzle a little bit more. I don't see him glancing at any particular reference, looking to assemble some of these dark puzzle pieces.
All right, there's a piece right there.
Taking one for his team. The real ring general of this team, looking to assemble some more pieces, perhaps catch up to Team Riders and the team of Andrew and Thortalk, who are now running away with this competition in my eyes. Assembling that box, throwing it down with a little bit of enthusiasm. Andrew looking to assemble some more pieces of Link, some more pieces of Ganon. Thortalk also assembling some red pieces. But we can't count out the team of Team Riders.
Team Riders slowly making some progress. I see a lot of Link already assembled there. Not too much Ganon. I see a head and a little bit of the hair there. But they still got a ways to go.
I think if we were at a toss-up at this point, it looks like the borders have been assembled by Team Riders and the team of Andrew and Thortalk.
Oh no! That looked like some cross-contamination there on the puzzle pieces, but it looked like Mouse was able to recover that.
Veteran official calling it right here as we see it.
That was
but
close.
Let's take a look at the intent gaze of Taylor Wells examining those pieces using one hand, which seems to be the strat here in this competition. You see a very parallel look at Taylor Wells and the ring general Goose of Fame with the lean strategy, as well as placing those pieces with incredible accuracy, sniping those pieces out and assembling more of what is the bulk of this competition, assembling the puzzle and having that internal strife of Ganondorf versus Link. In an incredibly epic contest, only overshadowed by the triple threat of this epic competition of puzzle assemblation.
That's absolutely right, Kevin. And as you've been analyzing that situation, it looks like we have almost 3 out of the 4 borders complete over there at the top right. Josh actually almost building out from the borders itself. But an interesting strategy. Usually get the borders done by themselves and these start building in, but not Josh. You can see he's got some significant pieces there built on from Ganon's wardrobe.
He does have some significant pieces there. Josh has been building upon this Ganondorf puzzle side for the better part of 20 minutes. We'll see if that develops later on in the ring to catch him up to the rest of the competition. However, I will make a statement and say that it looks like Team Riders has broken down into the teaming of Taylor Wells, Heels Pateri, and Kristen. We're seeing Allison at ringside here making the hot tag. Perhaps we can get some insight from Allison, or she's just spectating at this point, developing a strategy against the other teams in this contest. Taking nothing away, let's look at the action of what I've made note of this entire contest is seeing the divide of the puzzle boxes. See Team Riders as a box, perhaps providing a glare, which is quite blinding me from this commentary situation. Perhaps blinding the competition of Gusif, Josh, and the commissioner, and perhaps trying to get a look off at the team of Andrew and Thortok. I heard the woo in the background. I think we got a donation in. We'll see if we can take a look at that donation as we're looking at this incredible in-ring action. Taking a look here at the teaming of Thortok and Andrew, it looks like we have quite the development of Link and Ganondorf in the top left corner of the puzzle. We're looking at an orthogonal 90%, or rather 90-degree angle, 25% of this puzzle clearly assembled. I want to say we're at a 40% with the borders included. However, Team Riders also, can't count them out at this point, has an incredible amount of Link and Ganondorf assembled. I think the key strategy at this point is for Team Fighters to assemble the color strategy of the gold pieces and the dark pieces. We see Allison entering this contest. At this point, I'm going to take this moment to go over to veteran official Trevor Mignani with a donation reading from the donation booth.
All right, well, Dark Knight 27 has donated $3.16 and states in his donation, could we possibly do some stone cold shattered glass on Andrew and Thortok's puzzle? Absolutely not. We cannot do that. We're not crooked in this business. We're honest.
Bless you every day.
Same one?
Yeah, same. I'm staying highly caffeinated here on the couch. Unfortunately, my commentary team seems to have left me. We'll be fine as we continue through this contest. I can provide enough commentary for anyone to listen to. Let's look at the nail-biting action. I know people at this point might be biting blood into their fingernails as we look at this incredibly extreme competition of Zelda puzzle action, only brought to you by the Zelda Dungeon Marathon. We're at $3,441.56 donated at this point. We're at $1.15, almost 1 hour and 16 minutes into this contest, and at this point, I'd like to say it's a toss-up between Team Riders and the team of Thortok and Andrew.
Right here?
Veteran official jumping into the commentary booth, Trevor Mignani. What do we think about Team Goo World Order? I'm seeing Link action developing in the top right corner of our screen. We're getting joined by Taylor Wells, a member of Team Riders. Veteran official, I'm going to have to cut you off for quite a moment. Let's take a look at our celebrity guest on this commentary panel, Mr. Taylor Wells of Team Riders. Taylor, what's the strat
Well, so
of
far
Team Riders?
we had a bit of an issue in the beginning looking for our edge pieces. We had to scramble for a hot minute trying to find all those pieces, but we managed to get it together. We decided that when we couldn't find any more in the pile that we must have had them all, so we had to try and connect them. And once we did that, we started piecing together all the individual ones we had, such as Link and Ganondorf. And right now, we're seeking to complete some more of Ganondorf because that's a huge part of this puzzle, and I think that'll be the key to making a lot of other things fit, as well as the stained glass part on the top of Link.
Now, taking nothing away from the Ganondorf assemblage of this puzzle, which is a clear, very important part of this Ocarina of Time puzzle, I want to get your insider opinion of looking at the box strategy, a clearly technical Canadian across-the-border strategy of Heel Spiteri, dumping central pieces. Am I right in analyzing this as a veteran commentator of puzzle competitions? Are we seeing central pieces, or rather, have we seen central pieces dumped into this box to be developed later?
So that strategy originally started when we were having difficulty with the edges. So we decided to try and get a large chunk of the pile outside of the main center space to give us more space. Because, you know, look at these two other teams. They got all this space everywhere, and we've got nothing but this little corner here. So we decided to create our own little space and get rid of the pieces we knew were irrelevant right now.
Taking a look at the divide of this table, though, the literal physical divide, it looks like, from what I've seen from the beginning of this competition, that you've had a 1 by 8.5 of space on the hard steel table in this competition.
I'm gonna have to trust your math.
Is it possible that you could have worked with the commissioner who's thrown allegiance to the team of the Goo World Order to perhaps skew that space to include your puzzle? Because and I hate to throw credence towards you, Mr. Taylor Wells, but it looks like your team has done quite well with performing within those limited steel boundaries.
Exactly. It's because we decided to go with alternative strategies. Unfortunately, the bitter rivalry between Heel Spiteri and the crooked commissioner has been too heated for us to form proper alliances.
Lending a little bit of credence, though, it is the commissioner's backyard, and
That's
far
true.
be it from me, who gets a paycheck from the commissioner, to take anything away from Team Thortok with Andrew, working off the same similar space and throwing some extra space towards the team-up of the Goo World Order. Was that a credence towards them working in as the third seed into this competition, as we announced earlier before this competition?
I think you're right. There's definitely been a bit of that. I think the biggest issue here is that initially we were suffering a bit from a little loss of morale. But
I'd hate to cut you off here, Mr. Wells. However, we're seeing a very, very, as I've said a million goddamn times in this thing, this very, very close competition, there's a movement of the board.
Yes.
This 1 by 8.5 towards Team Riders and the team of Andrew and Thortok, thus cutting up the board, allowing more space for the team of the Goo World Order of Gooey, Josh, and the Commissioner, who you can see in the bottom right of your screen is tagged back into this matchup, with an incredible design of having this curve of including not only the border of this puzzle, but including Link and Ganondorf in an arc to come up with the finality of this puzzle. Not quite as close to the competition of Team Riders and the team of Andrew and Thortok, but I will point out that it's become an incredibly close competition of these three competitors. I'm going to take it off to veteran official Trevor Mignani. What's the analysis of this match from a bird's eye perspective, being an in-ring official, taking a look at it from that perspective?
Well, as we've been rambling on here all night, it does seem that Team Riders has been doing a very solid job of picking up the pace as of late. it still looks like a little bit of a messy soup situation going on in the middle of their puzzle, but it's starting to look like pieces are starting to connect. I see some misconnections happening at the top of their puzzle. From our perspective, that's the left side of the puzzle. They have to just kind of click those pieces in. They're ready to go. They're ready to connect. They just got to do it.
Pace is the key word, and pace is what we're at. We're an hour and about 22 minutes into this competition. We're looking for donations. We're at $3,441.56, hoping that anyone who's watching this right now can donate towards this puzzle, hoping for perhaps some end-of-game shenanigans that might be donated upon towards the end. But lending a little bit of competition towards this match, let's look and take a deep dive into the team of the Goo World Order, led by Goose of Fame. You see in the top corner of your screen, Josh Zielinski, Jay-Z, assembling all these pieces and not moved, and has held a commanding top right control of this puzzle. Ganon pieces have been developed. He's seeing red, and we see that pieces up by Josh Zielinski are of the dark nature, hoping to complete the rest of the puzzle. A lot of pieces in that corner. We have the color separation, whereas if you look at the teaming of Team Riders and Andrew and Thortok, that assemblage of colored pieces has been quite scattered. We see the attempt by Allison of Team Riders to gather such pieces into the box, but you can't count out the heart of the Goo World Order, hoping to gather the real victory here. And I think that lies with the strategy of Josh and Gooey helping him gather those pieces towards the top portion, the left side of the puzzle, the darkest part of this puzzle, and if anything, the most difficult part of this puzzle. I'm going to defer to Taylor Wells, who has been in this competition. At what point is the most difficult part? It seems to be the darkest pieces of this puzzle. Very difficult to decipher.
The dark pieces are definitely difficult. One of the biggest problems I've found, though, is actually with Ganondorf. His whole section is massive, and there are a lot of pieces that are colored very similarly. So his cape is the entire same color of crimson as, like half the puzzle. And then it goes with his hair, so you gotta differentiate between what's a cape like cloth texture and what's a hair texture.
You can't take anything away from Ganondorf, the most difficult boss in all the Zelda series, made most appearances in Zelda games since ever. However, I'm going to take this moment to move over to our veteran official, Trevor Mignani, at the donation station, reading off the donation that we've acquired over the past minute. Trevor, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. KO. We got a $15.22 donation from Sonic Tonic. Woo! Home from work.
Aaron.
Direct deposit went into my account, and I'll be hanging out lots tonight and tomorrow. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Loving the puzzle as always, and the fantastic commentary from the Couch Crew.
There we go.
Woo! Woo! Sending love from
Perfect.
California, Sonic Tonic, a.k.a. Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron Sonic Tonic from California, a veteran marathon viewer. We have a ton of folks in this chat right now that have been following us for years, enjoying what we do. We thank you so much for joining us, everyone across the world, and we encourage you to use the hashtag ZDMarathon as you chat along with us on all of social media. I think I want to defer to Mr. Trevor Mignani as I heard a sound bit for another donation, raising us up to a $3,506.78 mark for what we've raised for Extra Life charity, supporting the Children's Hospital of Peoria, Illinois. Mr. Mignani, veteran official, let's take it away from the donation station.
Thank you very much, KO. Before I read off this donation, I do want to mention that we were at 345,678 on the donation tracker before this 50 Slammo donation dropped.
Woo!
Yeah.
Branwyn Frost, who says, I will double this donation if I can get one of the puzzles. Don't worry, Goo, I'd pay for the postage this time. And that's from Brandon Frost. Thank you for the 50 Slamos. We'll see what we can do.
It's definitely interesting, too, now. We've seen a kind of divergence in the strategy of Team GUI. It seems that they were having some trouble with for us looking at the puzzle here on the left side, they're having trouble completing that edge, and it looks like Josh is completely focused on the Ganondorf part, and GUI, it seems, is trying to pick up the slack on the top. What say you, Trevor?
Well, yeah, I mean, we heard a giant woo from the side of Team Josh in the Goo World Order, and I think that cheer was for getting most of that border wrapped up. And they're getting a little bit of connection, almost getting ready to happen in the middle of their puzzles. So they might be putting themselves in a position to leapfrog into second place in this puzzle.
They're definitely doing well with that. I love this whole arc going with Ganondorf. It's kind of picturesque in it, and it should help with the color differentiation that I was talking about before, and where with Ganondorf specifically, there's a lot of red and orange in his color motif, so you have to kind of pay close attention to how the pieces fit together. Otherwise, you're kind of losing out on the whole picture.
Absolutely, and with a puzzle that goes on for as long as this puzzle goes on for, we don't know how long this is going to take tonight, folks, but we'll be here all night long for the conclusion of this one.
Absolutely, and speaking of that as well, it looks like they're starting to get into the armor pieces of Ganondorf, which should make the rest of that piece easier to do. And similarly speaking, we've got Mossie's team, who seems to have switched sides a bit here on Team Goosef. It's really interesting to see how these teams are shifting as alliances are breaking down and members are changing sides. Do you think it's Mossie's taking pity on Team Goo World Order?
Well, Taylor, I just took a look at in-ring competition. I'd like to point out, thank you for joining me here for some in-ring analysis. Taking a look at the competition here, what I saw here was some incredible placement of pieces by Allison and Kristen of Team Riders. From what you see in the action in the ring, you see some huge combinations, very pivotal to this matchup, of combining pieces, allowing certain pieces to literally as it would fall in place. But I want to take nothing away from the rest of the competition. The Goo World Order.
I think I'm being tagged in, Kevin.
That's fine. Tag in, my friend.
All right.
Thank you for your analysis.
My pleasure.
The team of the Goo World Order and the formerly sponsored Andrew and Thortalk team of the Commissioner doing an incredulous job of staying incredibly relevant in this competition. I think at this point the teams have quite evened, despite the movement of that large 1x8.5 in the middle of the ring to be involved with this matchup. I'm being joined by Heel Spiteri, Minish Cap veteran, Minish Cap champion, a relative newcomer to the Zelda Dungeon Marathon.
A close up of my belt.
I can
Cameraman.
I can attempt to make some strings pulled. However, before we get to that, Heel Spiteri, I'd like to point out there's some tactics here that I've noticed from Team Riders, and I don't know if you could lend some credence on this. I've noticed quite the glare off the puzzle box. On the left side of my screen, I've seen a lot of movement on the puzzle box. What is the strategy of Team Riders making frequent tags in, allowing themselves to not get burnt out? But what is the strat with this glowing box, which, in my opinion, manages to shine brighter than the glare off my legs?
That's a great question. I'm gonna answer that in a few stages here. The first stage is that frequent hot tags lead to fresher legs and fresher minds, and that is what the Moblin Club is all about, and that is what is going to propel us to victory.
Is that what's keeping the competition of Team Riders with the team of Andrew and Thortalk, who we see are at this point in an hour and 31 minutes and 21 seconds sucking air at this point in this matchup?
Exactly. They've got two people. They've had team members defect. We are keeping fresh. We are keeping we're keeping it congruent on the same page. Now you see that box there. You see that flare.
I saw a box lay down.
I couldn't help but notice Crooked Commissioner Mossy's looking over to try and gain some of our strategies and some of our knowledge. So the box has two different uses here. One is that it's going to shield his eyes, and then two, it's also kind of an offense and defense mechanism. It's going to shield, but it's also going to fire that gleam right back at him, hopefully blinding him for a minute.
Okay. We heard the tactics here from Heel Spiteri. Now, one thing I need to take a look at, which we've briefly touched on, however, the analysis not entirely sure of what's happening. Of course, from an in-ring perspective, we can maybe take a look. Team Riders has some puzzle pieces on that clear divide, which the folks at home may not realize is broken up by two microphones, allowing us to hear what's happening at the in-ring competition level. But what happens if those pieces fall between? Has that happened, become a factor in this competition?
We do have contingencies in place should that happen, but you can rest absolutely assured that we have complete control over every single piece that's on that table. And I don't just mean the pieces in our puzzle. I mean the pieces in all three puzzles. There's 550 pieces per puzzle. We got control of them all. We know exactly where everything is, and everything is going according to plan.
I see Andrew in the top left corner of the screen lounging about, maybe taking it in at this point, perhaps getting a little cocky in this ring.
I'm going to tell you what he's getting.
Thorntalk laying down some pieces.
He's getting fatigued.
Andrew
he
getting
needs
up,
to tap out.
Taking a brief moment to take a sip of water.
And let me tell you something. I drank all his water. So he's in trouble.
Oh,
Far
boy.
be it from us to have any water in this household.
Well, I do have an update on Vic and Mosley.
Let's hear it.
Vic was stepping out of the commentary booth to go use the facilities, and he was RKO'd out of nowhere. He's up in medical right now, getting checked out.
Uh-oh. Vic being transported to our local medical facility. We hope that he does well. Vicious attack, which we can only assume is from Spencer Woods of Team Goo World Order, who we still see on the bottom right corner is the teaming of Gooey, Josh, and Spencer. And if you're just joining us live now, the commissioner, Masi Segopian, joining into that team. We have veteran commentator here, Jason.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm
here. We saw Mr. Slick Vic, unfortunately, carted off to the medical facility off screen, as well as Locke. Mr. Locke, originally planned to be in this competition, unfortunately, suffered an injury. What's the injury cause? Can we get some insight, Mr. Jason?
You know, I can't say. I mean, it could be somebody might have poisoned his coffee. Not entirely sure.
Speculation here points towards Spencer Woods hoping to sabotage that competition, perhaps sabotaging some commentary that was perhaps not thrown in his favor. I'd hate to throw some shade towards Spencer Woods of Team Goo World Order. However, is it possible that he is involved in this competition
right now?
Hey!
Oh dear. The suspense is down here. Oh yeah.
Why don't I just jump in for a hot minute?
So tell me what you got to say.
The Moblin Club always has a plan B. Always.
Hey, we're slowing down right here. I'm ready for some spirit tracks, I think.
I'm gonna go take my title belt. I'm gonna go back there, and I'm gonna coach my team to victory.
Hey.
Isn't that Josh's title?
No, that's Terry's for winning that Minish Cap.
The next time I come back, I'm gonna tell you a little something about Josh Zielinski.
Oh,
Jay-Z back there.
Hi, Spencer.
Gotta
How's
play
it
Zelda
going?
Clue and find out who
Josh.
You
poisoned
didn't happen to
Vic.
hear that commentary a brief moment ago, did you?
No, sure I didn't.
Okay.
No, I was just out. We were hanging out, getting a bit of fresh air with Mosley.
Maybe
and
Jason
Yeah, yeah.
can give an answer on the status of Slick Vic.
He's not doing too well.
he suffered a surprise RKO going up the staircase.
Yep. Out of nowhere.
Any
Out of nowhere.
any look at who perhaps gave the Randy Olsen KO.
All we saw was a person sped off in a car, blonde hair. That's
Perhaps a bodacious blonde.
Maybe a little
it's
Andrew
possible.
right there.
I thought I saw a Canadian license plate outside.
I did hear somebody say they did it for Moss. They did it for the people.
Okay. Speculation developing here as we take a look at the action in the ring. Top left corner of your screen, the team of Thortok and Andrew looks to be at a commanding lead. We see the entire glorious red mane of Ganondorf, well, unfortunately being blocked by the puzzle box. However, if you were viewing this stream a few moments ago, you can see that the mane of Ganondorf has been developed. Link also developed. They're engaged in incredible combat, not quite like the combat being developed in this this three-team competition. At this point, it's strategically placing those pieces in parts that we want to see completed. The team of Andrew and Thortok looks to have assembled some pieces and gathered by colors for the central spots. Unlike, and at this point, $1:37, 45 seconds into this match, Team Gooey Fame sorted this out about 45 minutes ago. Jason, your veteran experience, is it Team Gooey Fame that sorted too early, or is it the team of Andrew and Thortok that have sorted at the perfect time?
I was just at ringside a few minutes ago, and I do believe it was Andrew and Thortok. They've got more on the table. They've got more organized. The entire feel back there is very tense. Everybody got quiet. Not as much trash talking as there was. Everybody's super focused.
Now, even with the involvement of the commissioner, Masi Segopian, has it lent any clear divisions between the teams? You have to expect that the teaming of Thortok and Andrew has been divided by taking this into a triple threat with three people on a team at one point in the ring to being down to two members.
They're definitely feeling the pressure, especially since they have to look directly across the table, right at Moss, just staring daggers through him. There was some mumbles. I couldn't pick up anything. They're definitely not happy with the scenario.
Now, with that added, let's look at Team Riders, which is at frequent tags, controlling this matchup, allowing themselves to have fresh legs, fresh fingers in placing these puzzle pieces, led by the leader of the Modeling Club, Heel Spiteri. Now we're looking at Team Riders with Allison, Kristen, Taylor, and Andy Spiteri, the leader of the Modeling Club. Does this look like the coalition of classic vintage Allison, the pinnacle of good guys, as well as Kristen, the pinnacle of good guys, lending their allegiance to the Modeling Club? A vintage, a nefarious group, nefarious
just saw a tag.
Wells, Heel Spiteri making his way into this ring. Does it look like Heel Spiteri perhaps polluting the conscience of Allison and Kristen, persuading them to his side?
I definitely believe so. Along with that, there's a lot going on as far as alliances shifting. Like you said earlier, it's definitely become a handicap match now. You've got four with the Riders who are, like you said, tagging frequently. You've got Moss, who has switched sides. And then you've got Andrew and Thortok, who are still powering through, still putting up a valiant effort. At this point, though, I really believe that they are the team that's going to be the farthest behind.
Now we have another competitor hoping to lend some credence towards the comments we made before. Kristen the Killer.
Kristen the Killer, really?
Of Team Riders, perhaps joining us here on the couch.
Okay, I want to make one.
Kristen,
let's make one thing perfectly clear.
Let me ask you before you make something clear.
Okay.
Kristen, are you fully behind the team of the Moblin Club, led by Heel Spiteri?
Yes. What's great about Andy is that he is keeping us motivated. With every piece we connect, with everything we find, he is always keeping us motivated no matter what. He sees the progress we're doing, comments, and pushes us forward. Even working harder than before. It may not look like much on our side, but we are working our butts off.
Let's hear your comment before you maybe take a break to grab some water, perhaps use the facilities.
I believe Masis is the most corrupted I've seen him this week. He easily was doing great on his own team, then decided to take pity on his other team, and then from there just decided to continue with that team instead of helping his own team out, which is a complete crap.
We can't take anything away from the commissioner, though, hoping to perhaps spur some competition among the members of his team.
If he was spurring them, he would have stopped spurring them 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. But he is wholly helping him out with everything, every little thing.
I'm just hoping you hear I'm just here to call the in-ring competition, not looking to speculate.
It's not speculation. This is fact. He immediately jumped to their team, and now is helping them out. He should not be helping them out. It's a 3-on-3-on-3. The teams were made. He should have not jumped at all.
Bold words from Kristen Rosario, Kristen the Killer. However, I would like to point out that we have a team of 2 with Thortok and Andrew, the Destroyers, the Puzzle Masters, if you will, controlling this competition and looking to take on the Goo World Order, who lost a member of their team, unfortunately, to some obligations of Spirit Tracks, looking to perhaps control some sleep, some focus later in the competition. Unfortunately, unable to control this puzzle contest. However, we're looking at Team Riders with 4 competitors, including yourself. Does that lead the advantage of having fresh legs, fresh members in this competition?
I think it's easy to tell after Masis left that it was definitely Thor that was the core of that group. With just 2, even with just 2, they are doing actually a really good job, regardless of Masis jumping ship to Goo World Order.
I'm gonna look towards Jason here. Jason, it sounds like Kristen the Killer Rosario lending some shade, if you will, some shadow link towards Andrew. From what I'm assuming
I'm not
is calling him out.
No, I'm not calling
Andrew out by lending more credit towards Thortok.
No, I'm saying
in this puzzle competition. Do you think that? Well, let me defer to Jason here as the expert. Is it Andrew who's the weak link in this tag team?
That's what I think I'm hearing a little bit. I think we're seeing a little bit of an inner power struggle.
No,
okay? And
no,
now, as
that's
a
not what I'm saying.
And now a typical heel here, he's begging off when he gets caught. That's what I think is going on.
Andrew was a replacement, and not a replacement, but Andrew. Let me rephrase Thor and Andrew have done a great job. Thor, he's been the majority, but Andrew has helped out immensely as well. I mean, it's taking 2 people to do so much on top of that. Already with Masis already going to Goo World Order and helping them out. He is so dedicated to Team. I'm calling him now Team Thortok, pretty much.
Okay.
He's so dedicated to them, and he's helping out so amazingly. For a 2-man team, they are doing a phenomenal job.
Taking nothing away from the team of Thortok and Andrew, I'd love to send some flair, towards Andrew. The analysis of the puzzle, looking at the box, allowing that analysis to spur the team forward. I've been looking at Andrew for the past 1 hour and 45 minutes and 20 seconds, and seeing him with his awesome Falco t-shirt,
as a nice Falco
t-shirt,
t-shirt,
puzzle pieces on the puzzle. I have to say that Andrew is the sleeper hit of this puzzle competition.
Yeah, he's one we have to keep out for. Our real we're not even looking at Guru. We're the Team Thortok and Andrew are our real competition.
So it sounds like, from Team Rider's perspective, aka the teaming of the newly formed Moblin Club, which is fine, by the way, a little scared of the teaming of Andrew Thortok, despite having the numbers advantage of 4-2. you can't count out the devastating maneuvers of Thortok and Andrew. As you see these pieces being placed down, a little bit of a glare from Andrew, a little bit of a glare from Thortok, but far be it from me to throw glare. Doing incredibly well in this competition, owning this puzzle, if you will.
Yes, they have been doing a great job. They have been a real tough cookie to take on, and I'm really hoping our team does absolutely phenomenal. I think we have done a great job so far. We have high team spirits. We haven't backstabbed anybody. We haven't left anybody on their own. We have helped each other out, and that is the key to us winning in the end.
Kristen, thank you for your positive insight. Let's take a look at the action at the top right corner of your screen. The Goo World Order, with the teaming and the backing of the commissioner's millions of dollars. Looking at this puzzle, we see a very, very close competition involvement with the teaming of Andrew and Thortok. If you look at the top right corner of your screen, you see Ganon's glorious mane, luxurious, developed, completely finished. And you see Link with his glowing Master Sword, also developed. You see a lot of dark pieces, the bulk of this puzzle developed on the right side of the screen. Goo and Josh looking to sort through those. Josh has been sorting those since the beginning of this competition. And you see the commissioner looking to divide those pieces. You see a lot of gold pieces, dark pieces, purple pieces, all on the commissioner's side, using all that available space to deal with this incredibly complicated puzzle, and leading to the action of Team Riders with Kristen Rosario, Kristen the Killer here on the couch, using the Canadian tactics of dealing with that box, taking those pieces, if you will, out of commission to look at them at a later time. And Team Thortok and Andrew, of course, placing down those pieces, rapid fire Andrew, dropping down those pieces, examining the puzzle. Thortok also looking at that puzzle inclusion of the paper in this Ocarina of Time 3D puzzle. I'm going to take a moment here to defer to Jason. Jason, what is the strategy of Team Goo, the Goo World Order, right here? Are we close? Are we at an impasse?
Woo! I think we're extremely close, especially between what we're calling now Team Thortok and the Goo World Order. As you alluded to earlier, the glorious mane of Ganon has been fully revealed. It looks like they're a little bit behind on Link, but other than that, they're very close. When I look down at Team Riders, I see Ganon's face. I see a little bit of Link, full border. Not much in the main department.
I will admit,
could be some improvements.
I will admit the cape is very difficult because there's a lot of red. I gotta say, it's a lot of red. We're trying to focus on is the symbols. One thing we notice is that the symbols really tell you where everything goes in the red, and that's what we're trying to focus on as well. When it comes to the red section, it is not easy putting those together. It really isn't.
Now looking towards the veteran official Trevor Mignani joining us here on the couch with his golden glass cup. Trevor, with your Canadian pillow and your texting.
Sorry, I was getting a ruling from the field.
Oh, that's fine.
From the corporate office.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can't rule that out.
Hi, chat!
However, Josh is yelling, spouting garbage.
Hi, chat.
That's all he spouts is garbage.
Let's take a look at Team Riders. At this point in the competition, would a veteran official want the tag in, perhaps to put Kristen into this competition, to perhaps close out? And Kristen, I mean, you've seen this analysis here. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of dark pieces at the top. You see a lot of pieces in the box. From your point of perspective, could you sort these out and perhaps pull up the W for your team?
Maybe. I would have to really look at each and every piece and try to connect them to the best of my ability and find out exactly where they go. Thanks to Allison, we figured out like the purple section of his
we know the purple section, all the purple pieces connect to right under his cape. So things like that help. So looking at the little details from the portraits, from the little picture we got from the box itself, definitely helps out with that. Connecting the darker pieces, connecting the more colorful pieces, like the purple pieces that are definitely from under Ganondorf's cape.
Mr. Mignani, at this point, do we make that tag? What's the strat?
You know, I would want to have the freshest person in there. You only get 3 in there at once. So if you got 3 able bodies in there, I think you're fine. But if somebody's starting to falter, starting to waver, starting to not get those strong grapples in there, you're going to want to tag out.
I've got a question for you. How are you feeling hour 51 into this personally?
It's
Is the fatigue set in?
It is very it is very exhausting. It's not 35. It's a puzzle. It's a 500-piece puzzle. I cannot tell you the last time I played a puzzle that wasn't on a computer. You know, the jigsaw puzzle this big. This is a very challenging thing. It takes a lot of brain power. Hence why I'm glad it's a 3-on-3-on-3 battle, or in this case 3-on-2-on-3. That
was the other question I had for you. How is it having to work with 2 other people, in this case 3, to synchronize your movements, and how do you divide up who's working on what section of the puzzle?
It's very simple. Whatever section they want to work on, they are working on that. So if Andy wants to work on the gauntlet, he'll work on the gauntlet. If Allison wants to work on finish up Link, they'll finish up Link. We want to have each main focus on something, because that way, once we complete what we're focused on, then we can put it together with the rest of the pieces, and that's where we can continue and move forward to gain a victory.
Now, this sounds like a solid strategy from Team Riders. Of course, having a collective intelligence of 4 combined intelligent minds. But, from your in-ring analysis, Kristen, looking at the 2 other teams that you're facing in this contest.
Got a little Pepsi for you.
That's cool. Facing the teaming of Thortalk and Andrew, and the team of the Goo World Order, Gooey, Josh, and the Commissioner, who swapped sides in this competition. Now the keyword being swapping sides, taking a team of 3 to a team of 2. What do you think that means for a teaming of a cohesive unit? From what it sounds like is 4 competitive players versus 3 competitive players, or do we know, and 2 competitive players with perhaps some misgivings?
I think the key to this is Team Thortalk is proving that the numbers don't lie. The numbers aren't an issue. The numbers are not an issue.
Okay.
If the numbers were really an issue, Masich would probably still be on his team, his actual original team. You know, numbers are not an issue here. As long as you're willing to work with your partner and figure every single little bit out, you are guaranteed to win. I mean, that is what the key of Thortalk and Andrew.
I'm sorry, K Killer. I'm gonna have to cut you off here. It looks like we've seen some incredible. Let's take it down to the ring. Let's see if we can hear a little bit, and then maybe to commentate on that, I will. From what I've gathered in ring, it looks like Andrew perhaps stole a piece of the puzzle from Team Riders. Are you going to accept that, or are you going to step in?
Perhaps give Chris... I cannot interfere. We are following the rules on this. They have to do. I'm confident in my team that they will do something about it, and I know they can do something about it because I have faith in my team.
You can't deny the heart of Kristen the Killer Rosario. Jason, what are you thinking about what we just saw here? It looked like the teaming of Thortalk and Andrew had nefariously stolen a piece from Team Riders, and it took the Commissioner's involvement to get that resolved.
Well, realistically, when you're faced with such a handicap like they are, being a 2-man team, you've got to do what you got to do. You got to try to work the system in the best way possible to even out the playing field. With that said, I do have a question. You said it doesn't matter how many players are on a team, but I beg to differ. You've got 2 guys who can't tag out, are probably hitting some severe fatigue. Then you look over on Team Goo, same scenario. You've got 2 of the 3 there that are severely fatigued, but yet your team, with the exception of one person, keeps swapping out fresh players.
I'm going to cut in here for a moment there, Jason. You look at veterans of the business, Andrew and Thortalk, veterans of the puzzle. Fatigue, non-factor. We're almost at 2 hours in this competition. You look at the other formed teams, the newly united Moblin Club of team riders. Sometimes, all right, we have new factors here. We have new team members. The Goo World Order having to deal with a member lost and a new member emerging on their team. I'm going to lend this to the Kristen, the Killer Rosario, and see, how's it, you have 4v, 3v2?
Team Tortalk is running on pure adrenaline right now. I mean, their backs must be hurting. It is very humid in that room. I mean, they are running on pure adrenaline. They are working their butts off to try to beat all the 2 other teams, including my own, of course. So I think they're giving every single last ounce of energy they have left to finish this, so they can take a nice deep breath on what, even if they win or lose, take a nice deep breath, knowing full well that they put their heart and soul into it.
I'd hate to cut away from that analysis there. Expert analysis by Kristen the Killer. I saw the commissioner, Massies, taking a 5-spot piece, a central piece, and examining off of the box. Let's see how that develops. If we can take a private eye here on the right side of the screen, it looks like the commish has a spot laid out, getting some assistance from Josh.
It's come a long way.
Laying that area. It looks like we have Mr. Mosley joining perhaps us here on the commentary booth. Mr. Mosley, perhaps you want to take a seat on this couch.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe dump back the veteran official, Mr. Mignani. But before we move Mr. Mignani, Trevor, the veteran official of this contest, I saw you scoped out a little bit of the in-ring analysis of this competition. I'd like to focus on team riders here. Focused and run by the Moblin Club leader of Heel Spiteri. I see Allison looking at a box. What is the strategy of having 3 players here working in this competition? You see Heel Spiteri, he's looking at the paper. What is the difference between them and the other competitors in this contest?
Well, I think it's all about mindset. You could talk to Spiteri all day about having the right mindset. And Team Riders is full of winners. People that show up early. People that put in the extra work. That go the extra mile. Everything that Mosley isn't.
Exactly. Mosley shows up late. He demands nothing but respect. He does a great job, but he shows up late. So, you take it or leave it.
All right, diving back into this in-ring action. Hoping for some donations. We're at the very hot, $3,506.78 donation total raised for this glorious, glorious marathon. We're looking for some more donations, so if you want to donate, you can go to extralife.org, our glorious, glorious charity, /participant/ZD, and donate towards this incredible cause, raising money for the Children's Hospital of Illinois, located in Peoria, Illinois. We're at 12:30 a.m. Central ZD time, about 2 hours, exactly about 2 hours into this ring.
Give me Canadian. Yeah, I know this.
And I'm gonna defer here to Jason, our veteran puzzle expert. Let's take a look at the teaming of the Goo World Order in the top right. Do you think they have the advantage now in this matchup? It's become very even.
I definitely do. And Moss, just like you alluded to a few minutes ago, made a huge power play with that 5-6 piece drop in, because that fills in a huge void that they've been working towards, and it'll allow them to bridge the gap between the border and the top of Ganon's head with that as well.
Now, looking at that 5-piece swap in there, the borders have been divided. We've seen borders across all the puzzles, which is the key, as we know in these puzzle competitions, to clearing out the entirety of this ring, closing it in, if you will. And from there, the entirety of the competition in this match is progressing towards the colorization of pieces, understanding how you sort those, and dividing them into what you can see across the puzzle box and the puzzle pamphlet included with every puzzle that's provided by the Legend of Zelda series. Now, we've seen Team Goo World Order dividing those pieces into colors.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the team seem to be scattered. Even so, across Team Riders and the teaming of Thortok and Andrew, does that lend credence towards the teaming of the Goo World Order, who have now caught up in this competition? Jason, let's defer to you.
Well, you know, I'm very curious, as I talked about earlier, with Team Riders. They've got that box with a bunch of puzzle pieces in there, and can't really see exactly what's going on. I see some golds and some dark colors. So I'm curious if they're breaking it down by color, and they're going to fill in the majority of the color and then just drop in all the shadow at once. If that's the case, then they'll definitely have the advantage over Goo World Order, who have now caught up. And again, I feel Team Thortok is now rushing to try to maintain that lead that they initially had.
Now, being cocky and being in the lead is all about the commissioner's cronies. I hate to admit it, but it's the truth. You see the paid wallets of Thortok and Andrew hoping to gather what they can, and I'm seeing a hot spot 8-piece drop by the commissioner on the team of the Goo World Order. The commissioner clearly showing his allegiance towards the Goo World Order, perhaps backing those who he thought had the incredible talent, but could not quite pull it off without the financial backing of the billions of the Goo World Order. Leaving Team Thortok and leaving, Team Thortok and Andrew in the dust.
I just noticed, too, Thortok and Andrew, they've switched places. That could be a really good way to prevent some eye strain. You're looking at it from a different perspective, a different angle, maybe working with some new pieces.
You have to, with that comes the fatigue.
Christopher tag.
And we're gonna give a passing here to Kristen the Killer. Gonna tag back into this matchup for Team Riders, but what happens here, Jason, and I've seen this for the past 2 hours, 4 minutes, Mr. Mosley joining us back here in commentary. Mr. Sweatso. We're seeing the literal rising of Team Thortok and Andrew stepping out of their seats. However, at a 2-hour, 4-minute mark, that could spell disaster, as you can not see it, but perhaps hear them sucking air. And
maybe a few other things.
Above this competition, standing up at this point, incredibly fatiguing. 2 hours and almost 5 minutes in, Mr. Mosley, you've stood for quite a while playing these kind of puzzle competitions, perhaps surveying the area.
Yeah.
The difference between standing and puzzling and sitting and puzzling, as the rest of the competition has done, what does standing do towards you?
I think standing is 100% detrimental. There's no point in standing. It takes away from your energy that you need to focus on the puzzles. It's just, there's no point in it, and I think that people do it out of just, not really thinking, not really planning ahead, not thinking about their,
But from an in-ring analysis, taking a look at veteran official Trevor Mignani, if you get a top bird's eye view, is the fatigue of standing and assembling puzzle pieces worth the difference in the long run versus those competitors who will sit on their keisters?
Well, it comes down to the posture.
Right.
If you're gonna stand, if you're gonna stand, you got to make sure you're standing straight.
Hey, can I say one thing, Trevor? I was in there for about 10 minutes, leaning over that table, and my back was gone after 10 minutes. These guys have been here for 2 hours, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
2 hours, 6 minutes.
They're also using much better posture than you were, my good friend.
My posture was absolutely
Your
decimated.
posture was awful.
That's why I dropped out of that guy 10 minutes in. Yikes.
It's all about some physical. It's like I've been saying this whole game. You can sit here on the couch, you can play some games, you can take it easy, and all you got to worry about is the mental aspect of getting through the games. And this puzzle, it's very, very physically demanding, and you don't realize it until you're right there in the Viper's pit.
That's right, and we're seeing some mental degradation of the leader of the Goo World Order, Gooey Fame. I saw some shrugging. I saw glasses being pushed upon the brow. This contest is an incredible combination of mental status as well as physical competition. And physical is the key word. We've seen the movement of this board dividing the ring, being pushed across. No involvement from officials. They're clearly allowing the commissioner to allow this competition to have some leeway and allow that physical, presence be allowed to be allowing competitors to tag in, introduction of hard steel chairs, allowing the competitors to sit down and take an easy break. I've seen puzzle boxes flown across the room, and I know from Mr. Mosley's insight in-ring analysis, looking from a bird's eye view at this competition, like what is the problems here in this matchup allowing this kind of leniency?
The problem, I mean, listen, Kevin, I just want to go back to one thing. I just want to mention one thing here. If you notice, if you look on the couch, even Slick Vic is gone. I mean, Slick Vic didn't have anything to do with participating in this puzzle. He was a commentator. All he had to do was call the action. But even he couldn't handle it, and he's gone. He's out. He's done. And we've had a lot of people fall off this year.
Yeah.
Every year it gets more intense. The first year it was okay, we're just building a little puzzle. But now it's serious business. It takes a toll on your body. It doesn't matter if you're here on the couch, if you're back there in the Viper's pit. It doesn't matter. Like, it takes a toll on you.
I'm getting word here from backring officials that unfortunately Slick Vic out of commentary position
completely out
due to an RKO from Randall the Killer Olsen.
Randall Olsen got him.
Randall Olsen unfortunately taking Slick Vic out of this competition. So we're gonna defer here to a 3-man commentary booth of myself, Kevin O'Rourke, joined by Caleb Mosley and Mr. Jason, the veteran guest commentary here. We're also joined by the man from across the pond, Spencer Woods, the top tier Woods.
How's it going?
In all of the Zelda series, who was in this matchup until a replacement from the commissioner. Yeah. Spencer Woods.
I could not handle the heat through there. I played about 15 minutes of that puzzle, and I could not.
Listen, you can't even.
Way too stressed.
You can't even step out to take a tinkle, if you will. And you just get hit by Randy Olsen, and then you're gone. Slick Vic, he made the mistake. He was too comfortable in the commentating position. He was way too comfortable. He stepped out to take a tinkle. Randy Olsen got him, and he's gone. He's out.
When you were in there playing, we were speculating about UK puzzle building versus here.
Oh yeah.
Because we noticed at one point you chucked their box across the room. You got a timeout for that. What are the rules and regulations of UK puzzle building compared to American puzzle building?
In the UK, we can have an anything goes kind of vibe. So the box gets thrown out. That little sheet of paper. That paper. Anything happens, you can swallow that guy. You can tear that guy up. Whatever. Give that guy a little rip.
Let me shine a little light also. I've covered many UK competitions. I've traveled all across the world covering competitions of puzzle building, aside from the Zelda Dungeon Marathon. And in the UK, we have what was known as UK strong style puzzling, which involves building puzzles on the opposite side of the table. Reverse puzzles, you would think everything that's on the left is on the right. Everything on the right, on the left.
Right.
And what that leads to is American and other foreign folks that are doing these puzzles getting very confused, allowing the competition, the UK competitors, very strong. However, leaning towards that left versus right style, flip-flopped,
And yeah,
if you will.
I feel like I kind of got a bit confused there. So these guys over here, they had their right-hand side style, and I had my left-hand side style. And, you know, I don't think the eclectic mix worked there. I think we kind of need a whole UK side and a US side, because...
I think so, yeah. It's a
didn't really-
disadvantage to Spencer, really.
Unfortunately, you're on the Illinois soil here, dealing with some folks that are all across the U.S., with the exception of some talented Canadian heel Spiteri, you know, lending his expertise outside the U.S., very familiar with the U.S. slower style of puzzling. And here we're looking at some analysis of the commissioner throwing a piece, plopping that into place.
He's got a strat.
Taking a big plop on the table.
A little bit of an uncertainty.
He's taking a big healthy dump. He's holding up the puzzle piece to the picture, trying to figure out where this guy goes. And he's going over here and dumping it right down on the puzzle. That's some good strats
and
right there.
Allison attempting to do the same thing, not quite dumping as well as the commissioner. However, taking a few
little dumps,
little rabbit
Moss
dumps.
has got some ginormous dumps.
Taking a few pieces, taking a few pieces and building that corner. We've seen the rotation of the puzzle. Kristen the Killer stepping into this puzzle.
No, I feel like
but let's not count out the teaming of Thortalk and Andrew, who have built a large portion, a very hefty portion of Ganon fighting Link.
Kind of obscured by the microphone there, but you know, do not let your eyes deceive you. They are vastly approaching on the finale of this puzzle. They've just got some little roundy pieces right here. They got a select there, which is arguably the most difficult part of the puzzle.
I think it may or may not be an advantage for the commissioner to be full of it most of the time, where he can take a massive healthy dump in games like this. He saves it up all year. He saves it up for this very moment right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, far be it from me to question the commissioner's motives, but let's take a look at the in-ring action. We see a difference between 2/3 of the competition. Looks like Allison stealing that box away, directing traffic, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
For the team of Team Riders.
Oh, yeah.
And Andrew analyzing the box, taking a look at what they have observed in this competition. The teaming of Thortalk and Andrew, dividing those pieces.
They're putting them
Looks
together.
like on the right side, Andrew has all those black, dark pieces. Thortalk taking the golden pieces at the top left side of the box. But looking at the Goo World Order, they have the box displayed, sharing it across the team members. The commissioner placing pieces down, slamming that piece in.
Slamming those dumps.
Team Riders.
Team Riders.
They just came through
doing very well.
with a huge sandwich right there. Woo! They just did it.
Moves in. And Josh, on the right side of the top right side of your display with that SpongeBob shirt.
Oh yeah.
Not able to quite see all of that display off the box. However, has a portrait of the puzzle next to him, utilizing that to assemble what the team of Goo World Order has assembled from the beginning of this puzzle, assembled by color. Central pieces.
Let me ask you a question here, and this goes out to Jason over here. Let me ask you something. If you notice with Josh in his very bright yellow shirt with the eyeballs and the
Very
eyelashes,
intimidating.
do you think that is meant for maybe for him to be more, you know, outspoken and noticeable, or do you think that is an advantage for his team because his team is so entranced by these eyeballs staring him straight in the face?
I think it's for him to stand out and be more noticed, but it's also, like I said, it's a strong intimidation factor for the other teams.
Yeah.
Basically, they look up, they're staring at a bright yellow shirt with some ginormous eyeballs on it.
Giant balls.
Maybe a little intimidation tactic. From
Exactly,
Josh there. I
exactly.
mean, he's been saving that shit all week. He's had that in his suitcase all week. But,
Josh Shalinsky is all about giant balls.
And with the way that he's positioned, the balls are sitting just ever so slightly above the table, right? So you don't get the full perspective.
Oh, yeah. These balls right here.
You got the little hairy guys shooting out from the top of the balls. It's very intimidating, in my opinion. I would not want to look across the table at a set of balls like that.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I want to bring up, since we were talking about international puzzle building, I've heard the possibility of whoever wins this will have to go down to Australia and face an Australian team and build the puzzle upside down.
That's right. We'll see that competition develop in the Zelda Dungeon Marathon Australia edition.
I don't believe in that.
In several months.
I mean, is that
probably on the Zelda Dungeon Network, which you can afford now for the low price of free $99.
Free $99.
That's not a pay per
$3.16 a month.
That's a free. That's the
premium
premium.
That's a free per-view right there. What's wrong with the free per right there?
And I'll tell you what, Gooey Fame stepping away from this competition. We see him gathering a break. Two people in this, two teams in this competition without Mr. Gusev.
I'm just taking
and,
a 5.
And I'll have to say, there's nothing wrong with a twofer.
Hey.
Nothing wrong with a twofer.
I've done the mathematics, I've done the arithmetic, and I found out there's nothing.
We've got Mr. Gusev, the leader of the Goo World Order. Mr. Goo.
You had this before?
That's
Mr. Goo.
That's a shirt.
That's a shirt right there.
GW.
All right, Gooey. So let me get your insight because I've been dying to get your commentary opinion on this entire matchup.
Oh yeah.
We've seen a lot of incredible competition. We have seen from what emerged from this competition as Kristen, Allison, and Heel Spiteri, Andy Spiteri, dealing with Thortalk, the team of Thortalk, Andrew, and the commissioner Masi Zagopian versus your team.
Yeah.
Including Josh Shalinsky, Jay-Z, Spencer, the greatest woods of all Zelda,
Wait, Jay-Z,
and Gusev. Gusev Fame, the leader of the Goo World Order. A team of which, and teams across this competition, 3 versus 3 versus 3, but we've seen that divide. We have teams of 2 with Thortalk and Andrew. There's a team of nothing. There's nothing. Let me say
You're
this. Let me state this.
question, right?
Nothing wrong with a twofer. Versus the team of the Riders, which has 4 players, Team Riders, and the team of Josh, the commissioner, Spencer, and yourself, another team of 4. What's your opinion on the commissioner entering himself into your matchup?
Oh, that was quite a loaded question. I'll actually say if you watch the tape back, you'll see that Spencer, he actually was never playing. He's been resting up for Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, Goo, I think you're twisting the reality here.
No, the reality is...
I think I played a little bit of this guy, got a bit of the Ganondorf face, bit of the sword there, but I really was struggling. My mental position coming into this...
See, he's very tired. He doesn't quite
It sounds
remember.
like Spencer's looking for that hot nap.
No.
If you roll the tape back...
A little bit of a hot kip.
If you roll the tape...
Like Kip right now.
If you roll the tape back, you'll see that Masi's was on our team since the beginning.
Okay.
I think this is revisionist history now.
No, a little bit of development in the story,
You might have
Mr.
to,
Goo.
Yeah, you might.
Are
have
you
to,
seeing that from across the table that the commissioner was in your pocket, as it would the whole time? Perhaps paying
Why is
his
he over
way?
here? Why is he over here? I don't agree with this at all.
Looking for the young and upcoming talent of Josh.
How did this happen?
If you want to say on the team is in the pocket, those are your words. That's not my words. I'm
Far
just
be it
saying
for
he
me
was
to
on
question
the team.
that.
Listen.
So what you're saying is this is
Bagel.
what was best for business.
Absolutely.
Listen here, Bagel. Nobody understands, and I will stress once again, the physical and mental stress of being in this competition. I had to go up there and kick Randy Olson's ass because he took
Slick Vic.
He took Slick Vic out of the competition,
Who's
and
Randy
Slick
Olson?
Vic wasn't even the competition.
I have to get back.
I love
Slick
you,
Vic
Goo.
went to take a tinkle, and he got
guys are great.
RKO.
Randy,
Randy
I gotta
Olson
get back
came
in the
up
match.
and-
I was taking a fiver.
I had to go
Oh
kick his
yeah,
ass.
nothing wrong with a fiver.
So we got a newcomer over here. He doesn't understand. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a little puzzle with everybody." No, you don't understand. It's some serious business, and he didn't know what was going
I was not
on.
prepared for that guy.
You got timeout. That's the first timeout in Zelda Dungeon history.
You look so upset when it happened too. There's like one. I'm gonna break some. I'm gonna break Caitlin Fabe here, and I'm gonna say that the 1 second of Spencer with
Just
like
sitting there.
he's just sitting there like
Yeah.
he's like scowling like
He has he got
I'm
in trouble.
upset.
He got in trouble, and then he just couldn't handle the pressure.
I
he
couldn't.
got
So he got
so
out of there.
upset. He was frowning.
You got
I
enough
went
mag-
upstairs. I tried to make some food for Caleb, and
set the
I
house
about
on
caught the house
fire.
on fire. The alarms went off. You know, this is some serious business.
What happened in that hot an hour
We were
where
trying
me
to-
and Jason were holding this broadcast together?
We were trying to cook some hamburgers. I was trying to cook some hamburgers for Caleb, and we had all the windows closed. The heat turned up to about 89, and the fire alarms went off. And you know, we quickly recovered.
We had a duplicate toaster incident.
Let's take a dunk on the toaster instance for a second.
Take a dunk.
Let's look at the in-ring action right here.
Let's go back to the action here.
We have the wooden table versus the steel table
That's a steal.
with a hot
right there.
1 by 8.5 dividing the action. It looks like the team of the Goo World Order with Masi's the Commissioner, Masi Segopian, with Josh Jay-Z Zelensky.
No, hold on.
Looking,
hold on.
well, no, Moses. Let me point this out. They are having the initial tactic, an early tactic, of having that box.
I want to know
That
what
fat box right there.
that fat one. Listen, I want to know.
blocking the competition for what they're seeing.
I want to know what in the AWS did Mossy's make his way over here. We got Gooey, Josh, Mossy, Spencer. How is he on Goo World Order? How did he get over here?
You can't
Because
deny
now-
the backings
No,
of the
no.
commissioner
This is not
looking
fair.
to back.
I don't agree
some
with this.
Young talent and some
Four-person
veterans.
teams are not against the rules, you guys.
One
Okay.
of the backing one of the horsemen.
It would seem, ladies and gentlemen, that there really are no rules. We've completely thrown the rules out the window, and
Yeah, there's no need for a woo there. Yeah, that's all right.
There we go. We got this solid, sponsored by Zelda Dungeon action here. You see that box of Ganon, Mr. Moss with those tidy whities.
Moss has the
Centering
tidiest of
centering in
whiteys.
Some puzzle pieces on Mr. Jay-Z's side. Getting some action here of Allison sorting through those pieces on the left corner of your screen.
Looks like
Mr.
she's looking for something very
Heel of
specific.
course, the ring general directing traffic, pushing those red pieces into where he needs to be, assembling that quite glorious "I won't give in, I won't give in" Ganon main. So, Mr. Mosley,
Yeah.
I am going to ask your veteran commentary opinion. There is 3 competitors in this contest.
Yeah.
It looks like Team Riders is out between the team of Andrew and Thortok and the Goo World Order of Mr. Mossies and Josh Alinsky. Who is in this competition and why?
Listen, well, let me tell you something. I think Mossy's has jumped ship over to Goo, Josh, Mossy's, and Spencer, the Goo World Order. I still do not have a definitive answer of why he is over here with his tidy whities helping somebody else. But, you know, it's kind of convoluted at this point. I don't want to ride out Team Riders. They're not done. They're not done. They are struggling. They're trying the best that they can. Listen, you don't just...
Some hairy arms.
Yeah, you know, Andy might be new, but he is the most technical puzzle piecer that we have on the team right now. And it's just him and Allison trying to pull together whatever they can because Mossy's is teaming up over here with the Goo World Order. I don't even know what happened. I was up there trying to kick Randy Olson's ass. I come back and Mossy's is all of a sudden on a different team. I don't know what to make of this, Kevin.
Randy Olson's ass aside, you can't count out the technical experience of the Canadian destroyer, Mr. Andy Heel Spiteri.
The greatest technical puzzle piecer.
Controlling his team.
Look how
being
calm and collected he is.
A veteran, even though he's a very young competitive Zelda Dungeon Marathon
And extremely
competitor,
far behind.
doing a damn well job of keeping that Ganon's mane together. If you look at the divide of this team, Allison doing a good job of controlling those pieces, adapting to that Canadian style.
Oh, yeah.
Of keeping those pieces in the puzzle box.
Oh, yeah.
Heel Spiteri taking those red pieces, seeing red. Seeing an incredible amount of red, wearing red, of course, because of the Canadian flag. Dealing with those pieces, assembling Ganon, despite the adversaries that are in this competition. You look at the teaming of the now tag team, Team Thortok and Andrew.
Yeah.
Dealing with a good portion of this competition. They have Ganon assembled for the most part.
Yep.
The mane is there. The body is there. Link is glowing. However, not as glowing as the teaming of the Goo World Order.
Look at this guy.
Gooey,
There he is.
Moss, Josh, and Spencer. Not quite able to keep up with that glorious. I won't give in. I won't give in. Link Special Beam Cannon.
I think it's going to be increasingly difficult for the team of Andrew and Thortok because they've got the middle assembled, and that's really the easiest part. That's, you have each piece is very unique. It's very easy to put it together, but now you have the right and the left sides that are pretty bare to, and they're missing them. So
I'm gonna cut you off right there for
You don't cut me off.
You cut this guy off.
I'm not gonna cut you off. I'm gonna interrupt here with a hot interdiction. Let's talk about the amount of money raised here. We are at $3,506.78 total raise for our glorious charity of Extra Life, representing the Children's Hospital, Peoria, Illinois, raising money all week.
I think we need to give the chat, everybody that's donated, and everybody around the world a woo and a clap right now.
Ready?
Woo!
We have raised above our goal $1,500, and I'll tell you what, if somebody donates a good portion of money, I just might get a stone cold stunner from Mr. Mosley
himself.
I don't want to stun you, but I will for the right amount of money.
We are at a hot, very hot, spicy as all hell, 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 30 some odd seconds.
This is a serious game right
of this
here.
very incredibly close puzzle contest, of which we have competed with.
Oh, I love it, Michael.
For the
Byron? Where's
for
Byron?
Shut up, Byron! Of the past couple years of Zelda puzzling, Zelda dungeon action, provided with commentary by really by me and you and whoever
Slick
seems
Vic.
to show up.
Slick Vic and
unfortunately,
vomiting mushrooms
that
upstairs.
medical facility
Had to dig out of the
taking
effing
the
sink.
distance out of him. So let's dive back, Mr. Mosley, into the action. 2 hours, 29 minutes, 19 seconds.
I think that there is
we have 3 teams in this competition. We have the teaming, if you're just joining us now, the team of Team Riders.
Team Riders is assembled. They're in third place, clearly, but they have assembled the bottom, the top. They're working on the middle. But they actually have delved over into the right and the left sides, as Team Thortok has not. Whereas Goo World Order is really filling out their puzzle. I think that Goo World Order might be in number 1.
That's right. And we're at a hot 2.5 hours. So
we have a new something developing in the back. There's some serious Beatles going on, songs.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really helped the mood for everybody to get really energized and try to power through, try to Mosley on through this puzzle and complete everything.
Now, Mosley, as this competition has developed, if you look at the beginning competitiveness, of these 3 distinct structures of teams.
1, a 2,
a 3.
30.
A 3. You see the divide clearly of the wooden peg, the 1 by 8.5 of the donation that we just received, of the team of Team Riders on the left side of this screen.
Yeah.
The team of four individuals tagging in and out with incredibly spicy hot tags versus
Listen,
the teaming of the originally backed.
I want to know why Mossy's on the Goo World Order.
Well, I'll tell
What
you
happened?
what. We're gonna recap here. The original teaming was of Thortalk, Andrew, and the
Moss.
Commissioner Mossy's
The
Hagopian.
crooked commissioner, obviously.
But
He did something
Mossy's
crooked.
Hagopian letting his credence towards an original horseman. Original horseman Josh Alinsky.
Hey, Bobby and Lori.
An original horseman Josh Alinsky. And
this guy right here.
The upstart Spencer Woods,
Okay.
who has long been relegated towards
Spencer's
playing
out.
a Spirit Tracks race with someone who we have on the couch right here, Mr. Caleb Simpson, who is
Come on over here, Caleb.
who is
Come on in, come on,
perhaps
come on over here.
reluctantly, maybe not reluctantly, joining us for
Cooking
commentary.
with Caleb and Caleb. We almost got the house on fire.
I'd like to pause this entire race, this entire competition, to take an interview with Mr. Caleb Simpson, a Zelda Dungeon veteran who will be playing the Legend of Zelda: The Spirit Tracks in a hot few hours. I'd like to take this moment to deviate from the puzzle in-ring action. Caleb, what do we have going on? What do we have to look forward for the Spirit Tracks race? What's your practice going in, and what are we going to look forward to?
Yeah, I've only actually ever 100% of that game, so it's a very slow game in general. So I wasn't actually sure what to do going into it. I ended up watching a speedrunner a couple times, and then I practiced compared to that. I'm not actually sure what my time is on all that, but I think I'm like a little hour over what the world record is, which that was 4 hours and 20 minutes. So I gave myself an extra hour and 10 for Fudge Room, which I think is reasonable.
I think that's fair.
So, but that's actually pretty fast. I think most people play the game, even if they're not trying to go as fast as possible. They spend about 13 hours on it. So, I think I have it down to about 5.5.
Okay.
Which is pretty good, really.
That's an incredibly quality time.
Yeah.
For all of the experience I've had with the Zelda Dungeon Marathon, or Zelda Dungeon Informer, or whatever you want to call it, I have never in my life seen a Zelda Dungeon Spirit Tracks performance that is below 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm not actually entirely sure.
I'm looking very much
how
forward
long
to
it is, but yeah.
So for everyone who's joining us here live, definitely stick around after this puzzle to see Spirit Tracks between Caleb, Mr. Caleb Simpson, and Spencer Woods for a very, I think a very close, like, sleeper hit to this marathon.
Yeah. You know, Spencer, like, Mossy's kept telling me that Spencer was a speedrunner, but then so far all the stuff I've seen from him was Mossy's having him fill in.
Oh.
At times. You know, just on the side.
Oh!
You know.
Okay.
I was actually pretty,
I've done that before.
pretty intimidated seeing his Breath of the Wild play, though. He was really good at that game.
Yep.
And so, don't know. He said that Spirit Tracks he practiced for a lot, which if he practiced for that a lot and didn't practice a lot for Breath of the Wild, he smoked him in Breath of the Wild. How did that end, by the way? I had to go to bed.
It was great. It was a good time. Far be it for me to guess who the winner was, but let me ask you this, Caleb. Diving in, I'm interviewing the real Caleb here, not Mr. Mosley.
Let's take a moment to acknowledge the fact that our special guest today, Jason, who was named after Jason Voorhees, he's got the tattoo on his arm, has to go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so he is departing
What's up, Bubba?
the puzzle game. One more casualty to the puzzle game.
Yep. Pokemon Go champ.
It's been great. Oh, I don't want to shake your hand twice. No.
See, I'll get it.
Jason. Hey, buddy. I'll cut you. We'll get that course for you.
Let's all give a grand Zelda Dungeon Marathon.
Na 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 na. Hey, Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Please drive safe and arrive home at a reasonable time.
Poor flavor.
Poor flavor.
Let's get back into the Caleb Simpson commentary of the Spirit Tracks. Let's dive into the puzzle here. We've seen Spencer Woods at the beginning of this puzzle.
Hydrated.
We're at a 1:05 local time in the morning. Does that incite some bonus factors into you saying like, okay, he's tired. He had a person
for Spencer. You mean?
Yeah.
Or what?
Spencer started this contest at the.
I don't think he's even slept much this entire week.
No, he hasn't.
Like I think.
And he's right here.
I think at first.
Perhaps let's
How
get
much,
the Spirit Tracks racer here on the couch.
How much sleep have you actually gotten this week?
So I got a pretty good sleep last night. Actually, I had a nice little 6-hour rest in left last night. That was a.
I'll have the pancake puppies breakfast.
Hey Mosley,
come here, Mosley.
Come around here.
I gotta get a toot off my douche flute.
Oh, all right.
You want a douche
Well,
flute? There you go.
I tried to live with that douche flute.
Toot up.
You want a little toot off of it too, sir?
I'll come in for a little toot in a little
Go on
bit.
in and wander around in the road. We might get ran over by Bobby and Lori.
You're in this guy.
So let's talk. While we're here, we're examining the Twilight, or rather the Ocarina of Time puzzle racing here. But let's talk about our next competition, which is scheduled for one fall between our two competitors, Caleb Simpson, Spencer Woods. We have a Spirit Tracks competition. What is the strat going in?
Lots of rolling.
So we're going to be rolling. You can only roll maximum of like four times in a row
you gotta
before
space
you
it
get
out.
a bit dizzy. So
Yeah.
you need to be careful where you roll, and you got to optimize that guy real quick. But that's quite a long game. That's about a 5.5 hour, 6 hour game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a friendly competition with Caleb Simpson. We're having a back and forth the whole week. We've teamed up on a bit of we haven't really teamed up, but we've been chatting all week.
Yeah.
We haven't really played a game. We played a bit. Four swords.
Team up is
maybe?
relative.
Team up, yeah, whatever. But yeah.
I hate to take away from the Spirit Tracks competition in incredibly, surprisingly spirited competition, but let's take a look at the teaming right here of Andrew and Thortok with an incredibly completed puzzle.
Very impressive from these
Ganon
guys.
and Link. They're assembling was the most incredibly difficult piece of this puzzle, the darkness that is Ganondorf,
and the lightness
versus Link. The darkness is quite difficult. Whereas we have Team Riders, which I'd claim to be is in second place.
Yes,
Kristen the Killer, as well as Vintage Allison, teaming up with the third embodied hand, placing whatever they can at this point, divvied up the colors for this puzzle to complete it, finish it, nail it in the coffin. But we cannot count out the right side, the incredible heart of the Goo World Order, backed
now, yeah,
by the Commissioner. Gooey Fame, Josh Alinsky, Jay-Z, and the Commissioner, Masi Zagopian. They have Ganon is completed for the most part. The hair is there. The hair is there. Link is there. We have a lot of dark pieces by Josh. He's examining the playing field, perhaps examining the other players in this competition.
As we see, look at the kind of light world up at the top. That's kind of completed for the majority there by old Jay-Z, our fan. But they've not got that much of the body completed, and you can't really see. But beneath our room cam right there, they've got a big stash of parts there.
I have to say something though, Mr. Woods. You cannot count out the team of the Goo World Order. The entire left portion of the puzzle completed, whereas the other competitors in this contest, which is scheduled for one fall, does not have any of the gold pieces completed
I know.
at all.
I think they've got something special going on here, and maybe the dark pieces are a little bit easier to complete. Actually, they've got a bit of a ranging gradient, so I think Jay-Z taking on this this light area is a good tactic, and we could see these guys clean up very, very quickly in the coming minutes and hours of this puzzle match. And yeah, we'll see how they compare up to Team Andrew and Thortok and Team Writers down here.
Mr. Caleb Mosley, I'm going to defer to you as a Ocarina of Time walkthrough and puzzle master. We're in both of your wheelhouses here. What's the strategy as we see Team Thortok and Andrew delving into those pieces, as well as the Goo World Order with some face bombing by Goo, and the Team Riders team trying to do whatever they can to win? Who do you throw credence towards?
Well, since you just asked me to speak as Caleb Mosley, I'm not sure. Since
Did I say Caleb Mosley?
You did, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, Caleb Simpson.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
I probably said Caleb Mosley like 12 times tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, I see that it looks like we could have one person on one color and one person on another. Might be a good way to get this taken care of, because if one person can work on one side and kind of meet up in the middle, it might be a good strategy for the win. Although, if somebody's really struggling with one particular piece of the puzzle, it might be to their advantage to all focus on the same spot.
Very nice.
Very sage advice there from Caleb. Caleb Simpson.
We're 2 hours, 41 minutes, and then 50 seconds into this competition. At the 3-hour mark, I'm hoping that we're done, completed with this puzzle. However, we'll see how the competition thins out. We've raised a total of $3,531.78. We're at 1:11 a.m. at Friday?
Friday morning.
Friday morning, Central Time. Approaching the precipice of this marathon.
And
I don't believe...
Actually, it is the dawn of the final day.
And you know what? We have an absolutely stacked lineup here.
Oh, yeah.
We got starting with Spirit Tracks, followed immediately by Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. We're going to have a 6-player race in that guy. You guys are not going to want to miss this. This is an absolute send-off here for the Zelda Marathon 2018. And I think it's, maybe the best final day ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
This is quite the finale. We have 3 jam-packed games.
And speaking of jam-packed,
ending up this game.
We have
this marathon.
A jam-packed competitor here in the form of Andy Spiteri.
If we could, I'd love to make a quick suggestion for those of you who have donated to this marathon. Thank you so much. We are still looking for file names for Ocarina of Time and for Majora's Mask and Spirit Tracks as well. There are a few that have been donated towards here. However, we have 6 players playing for Ocarina of Time, 3 players playing for Majora's Mask, and 2 players playing for Spirit Tracks. If there is a file name that you'd love to donate towards, we're at $3,531.78. If you could donate within the bottom of your heart, take that money and donate towards the Extra Life charity representing Peoria, Illinois. We would love that. If you could put money towards a file name, and that would just be fantastic.
And of course, we appreciate that very much so. But we've got to take a look at the puzzle situation right here. We're going to vastly approaching the top of the Light World section here, over by Jay-Z and the Goo World Order. But we can't cut out the Team Writers here. But it looks like maybe Andrew and Thortok, they're taking a little bit of a break here. They're maybe having a little discussion here.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much action here. Not many pieces have been placed down. They kind of come into a stalemate here in the situation.
Looks like, discussion is being developed here. See Andrew with a piece in place in his hand, perhaps dropping that down. At this point in the contest, we have entered the precision accuracy moment.
Of course.
You see Allison examining that box, looking for some pieces to place down. Kristen, the killer, of course, looking to close out this Ganondorf hair. The team of the Goo World Order, sponsored by the Commissioner, Goose of Fame, Josh Alinsky, Jay-Z, and the Commissioner, Masi Zagopian, looking to keep up with the teaming of Andrew and Thortok, the Puzzle Masters. It looks like at this point it could be anyone's game. However, I'm throwing my hat towards the teaming of Andrew and Thortok and the Goo World Order, both of which seem to have quite a bit completed. a strategy in place to figure out the rest of the puzzle. You can't take anything away from these two teams.
Yeah,
and to answer your question there, Sonic Tonic, you can totally do that. We are still looking for file names for that. I think we do have at least 2, I believe, for Spirit Tracks. But yes, if you want one of yours in there, feel free to make that happen.
Of course, and you know, we're taking a look at it. It's quite impressive, the team of Andrew and Thortok. Only with 2 men here, as opposed to Team Rise over here with Spiteri, who's unfortunately taking a seat on this couch here. He's taking a quick little break, but Alison and Kristen still working on that over there. But yeah, Andrew and Thortok, absolute ringers over here. We've got some puzzle champions here, some top seed players. Maybe a fault of the bracket here, but
that's right.
They're very close to completing this guy, and the Dark World is coming to a fast completion. What do you think, Mr. O'Rourke?
What looks like is happening here is a obvious divide of what we've seen for the past an hour and 45 minutes of the team of Thortok and Andrew taking a good controlling lead of this puzzle, having the commissioner, Mossies, swap sides, being a little bit of a swap-so, and moving over to the team of the Goo World Order, run by Mr. Goose of Fame,
and
with Josh, Mossies, and our good friend Spencer here on commentary, who's tagged out to allow the competition to be a little bit fair with 3-on-3-on-2. However, the two-man team not opting to take a third partner. Although I wish, or although I'd imagine, if anyone they could claim for a third person on their team, they would take the expertise and the white hat.
Look at this bit of rabies.
Mr. Caleb Mosley on my right.
Little Randy Rabies.
Caleb
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Mosley. If you were on the team of Thortok and Andrew, what would you do right now?
I would stand back and just cheer them on because
really?
They have this closed out from the very beginning. I've said it from day one. Andrew is he's the ace in the hole. He's the Bobby to my Lori.
Is that what you were calling him?
Yeah, he did. No, I said
I thought you were calling him an ace-hole from day one.
I didn't call him an ace-hole.
I got him.
I mean, he is an ace-hole, but like at the end of the day, I think that Andrew has really been plotting this race, this very moment, out from the day he got here. We've seen very little from Andrew, and now he comes out guns a-blazing, killing this puzzle competition. We've seen people get hospitalized. We've seen Mossies throw his back out. We've seen Slick Vic just completely die. Like, we have everything in the world's happening during this race, and Andrew is over here keeping calm and collected. Mr. Kevin, I don't know what else to say.
So, allowing, as we take a look at the action here, Heels Pateri, Andy, tagging back into this match, let me take this moment to defer to our veteran in-ring commissioner, or rather in-ring referee official, whatever he wants to be called, Trevor Miani, with a donation to read off in the donation station.
Oh, here we go.
Hydration.
All right, we got a $25 donation from Tony Chow, who simply asks for someone to RKO Mossies.
Well, I mean,
that is doable.
I feel like that might have been done sin donation there.
Unfortunately, that happened to Slick Vic. Cannot join us on the commentary.
He got RKO'd.
Rushed to the local medical facility. We'll see how he does tomorrow.
We'll get a cam backstage for that guy right there. But moving swiftly on, we cannot forget this. We've got this second camera here. I mean, a little bit of the commissioner here blocking the view, mainly by that shoulder. But we'll get back on here on this regular view. We can see the with the divider here, maybe getting a little bit, slanted here. Maybe we're gonna have a bit of confusion with these pieces. Are we gonna see a couple pieces? Swipe on over to the other side of the board.
Is this part of their strategy or what?
Yeah, I mean,
it's entirely possible.
I mean, I can see that guy. You've got a couple pieces on that side by that piece of that 2x8.5 right there.
Let's take this camera view to examine though that Ganon's main has been assembled.
Yes.
With Josh and the commissioner working together to close out a good portion of Ganon. Looks like a little frustration on the brow of Josh Alinsky. However, has an incredible team of the commissioner and Goose of Fame of the Goo World Order, looking to close out this competition. They have the top left corner of Link, that golden glow above him, and the team of Thortok and Andrew focusing on the darkness of this puzzle, opting to not go for the light. They have some pieces sorted, however, not everything. And the team of the Team Riders, working very closely with one another, 3 heads together, hoping to close out this puzzle, perhaps catching up to the team of the Goo World Order and Andrew and Thortok.
Yes.
Let's go to Spencer for some in-ring analysis. What's the deal? What's going on with Allison and the box in front of her face?
So Allison's maybe using that to cover one of her eyes so she can get a better view, so she can get some better concentration. But I think the important thing to note is here, since Spiteri is tagged back in here, we've seen a lot of pieces come down on this guy very quickly. I think it's Andy here, he's
digging deep there,
digging
in
deep
his
in
playbook.
his playbook here to get some pieces. We've got these pieces going down very fast, so we could potentially see a catch up here to the Goo World Order in there in the top right of your screen. Who knows? This is anyone's game at this point. Even Andrew and Thortok have slowed down a little bit here, but they are cleaning up this dark section of the board, the dark world here.
That's right.
This is the most difficult part of the game. They could have even lost a couple pieces. Hey, they have to get all of these 550 pieces down here to factor in as to sign that off to punch their ticket to victory. If they don't have all 550 pieces, they don't win.
That's it. And 550 pieces is the name of the game. We see Andrew and Thortok looking at that puzzle box, holding that between the two of them. Cohesion amongst players on the team. The commissioner Mossy is working with Josh to look at this puzzle box. However, it looks like the commissioner taking a long, hard look at that puzzle piece, taking a look at this box and realizing a lot has to be done. Let's also take a woo moment here to get some donation, as we're knee deep in this puzzle. Almost at the 3-hour mark. The competition between Team Riders, Andrew and Thortok, and the Goo World Order fiercely entrenched in this puzzle competition.
It's so fierce.
If we could take a moment here to deal over to our veteran official, Trevor Mignani, calling the action, calling all the rules in this competition to read off from the donation station. Mr. Mignani, how are we looking with this donation?
Well, we did just get a $3.16
Woo!
donation.
Woo!
That says, let's make the Goo's World Order sit out and think about the meaning of the word traitor. I don't know if we could do that, though.
Oh, that's
our damnedest.
I didn't see anything. So I don't know what we could do about that.
It's
I didn't see any foul play on that one. Hashtag Team Chill Thortok.
Oh,
that's from Kyler Dragmeyer.
Kilter, is that in there?
Kilter.
Speaking of Kilter, there a little bit confusion over Randy Olsen over here. If you don't know who Randy Olsen is, you need to go watch the towards the end of the Adventure of Link, which was played a couple nights ago.
I heard that's a real doozy of some commentary.
You think?
Randy Olsen.
Randy Olsen is a real guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's draw our attention back to the main event here.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening before that. We are at $3,534.94.
Wow.
At a hot 1:23 in the morning, local time in Central U.S.
Central Daylight Time right now.
Central Daylight,
Can't
yeah.
forget the daylight savings.
We've entered into the morning of Friday.
We are 6 minutes away from
putting all those savings towards the donations.
6 minutes shy of 3 hours from this puzzle.
Towards the jail.
This puzzle has went on longer than a lot of the games that we've played this week.
We had Legend of Zelda close out about a 1:40 time. Not
about a hard 140.
Yeah,
quite as long as Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah, this puzzle has taken a sizable chunk, and I think it's very important to relish this time here that we've got these our world class players. We got Alison over there. Maybe checking out that box on her head. I mean,
yeah, she's still
trying
doing
to absorb that knowledge into her head,
into her brain right now. She's sucking it into her brain. She's got this
you
sixth
see her
sense
corpsing. We're sending for the
right
man,
into the temple area of her face.
Oh yes, and she's going to absorb that knowledge.
Oh, there she goes again.
She's Oh, well, Josh is getting a little bit rowdy back there.
Josh is getting pretty randy back there. I don't know what his problem is.
Maybe
We're
getting a
gonna
little
have to send
stressed
in
out.
the senior official to perhaps break up some tension between these teams.
You need to calm him down.
You're going to calm him down there, Mr.
Perhaps the senior
Mignani.
official.
Mignani's going in there to calm down the team.
Calm down that wild boar
Tell
of
him to take it
Jay-Z.
Oh
that would be
yeah.
Trevor.
Okay, we have Kevin over here. He's
Son of
losing
a-
his battery life.
Oh yeah.
This guy needs to go on low power mode right now for a little bit, but
I'll tell you who's not losing their low batteries. The team of Thortok and Andrew. You see a box.
Oh, they have got this.
maybe
The box is
flaunting a little
there.
bit.
The combo of the golden light of Link claiming this victory is emerging in the top left corner. However, you cannot count out the Goo World Order. Top left portion of the puzzle completed, top right completed with some exceptions. There's a hot 5 pieces not completed, the rest of the puzzle being open. You cannot see, and perhaps this is the strategy of the teaming of Thortok and Andrew blocking off pieces of their puzzle.
I do find it interesting that Thortok and Andrew keep pausing every once in a while to discuss strategy. It's interesting to me that they keep doing that, and then they rush and get a whole bunch of stuff done all at once. Makes me sort of wonder, like, you can see how they have some pieces that are already assembled together ahead of time, like before they ever even get them into the larger puzzle, and I find that very interesting. Maybe that's the trick to how they are pulling ahead. It looks like they are the fiercest competition that are making the other teams sweat the most. It seems like Allison and Andy are in their own little world, but they are falling behind.
You can't count out any team at this point.
Well, I'm not counting them out. I'm just noting their strategies. Makes me wonder
Caleb
if
Mosley bringing in the Majora's Mask first 4-figure statue. Hopefully breaking it into a million pieces.
Hopefully not breaking it into a million pieces.
It's not broke. How does this thing go together, guys?
It's a magnet.
Oh, okay, I got you. There we go. Cool.
It's here. We have
It's
the
just a
Majora's
magnet.
Mask in this race, which will be appearing on
This is
Friday
a sign of things to come.
at a hot 7:30, perhaps later in the morning, depending on how long Spirit Tracks takes, which should not be long. We're seeing some sliding action here. It looks like the teaming of Andrew and Thortok have completed a very, very large portion of the puzzle.
They're at like 90.
Perhaps bragging to the team of Team Riders. Allison looking at the puzzle, perhaps a little phased. The teaming of the Team Riders, Heels Pateri, Allison, and whoever's off screen, it might be 2. I can't get a deep analysis of seeing who's there.
We can definitely tell that the fatigue is taking over in this matchup.
That's
it's
right.
definitely making its presence known.
If you
A
can't
lot of
breathe,
people are
you
getting
can't wrestle.
a lot of them are getting very, very fatigued, very tired. The physical and mental, stress that this game has taken on everybody, from Slick Vic to our our commentator over here, Kevin, to myself. I had to take a couple breaks to Spencer. What happened to Spencer? Nobody knows. He's just
Apparently
gone.
he went to bed. It looks like, though... Yeah, good idea. We're looking at a good shot of the team Thortok and Andrew placing puzzle pieces at the top portion of their puzzle.
It almost looks like they're doing just one row at a time.
That's right, and this seems to be the
Allison is still
ending stretch.
Allison is still trying to pull it into her brain.
We'll see if that pays off for the team of Team Riders. The team of the Goo World Order. Very possible to break into this matchup between
The Goo World Order
and Andrew and Thortok. Surprisingly, Team Riders looking behind the other 2 teams in this competition. Mind you, this is triple threat rules. The first person to assemble this puzzle is declared the winner.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin. Do you think that the completion percentage of Team Andrew and Thortalk has taken a toll on the other teams. Do you think that maybe it would be more beneficial to have a wall between all three, so where they can't really see how far along the other guy is?
I'll definitely tell you what, Mr. Mosley. If I were Team Thortalk and Andrew, this is the intimidation factor. They rotated their puzzle. They're showing team riders, hey, look.
Oh, wow.
We have more than you've completed. They're showing off to the camera. They have all the confidence in the world. But here is what is happening. We're at above the 3-hour mark.
Just above.
I've actually been wondering if having a more completed puzzle nearby might accelerate their completion themselves, just because they can actually see where the puzzle pieces go.
Oh, very.
Yeah.
So having them separated, I actually feel like would be most beneficial to whoever's in the lead.
That may be true. However,
you're looking
at the teams. The mind games may be playing a factor. You have Allison trying to absorb that information into her head, not looking at the other team's puzzle.
Yeah.
You have the Goo World Order still looking at the box.
I'm not sure if that's just
Still
because she's
looking at the
right-handed
box.
or because that's her strategy right there, is to just not put them out of her mind.
You can never know until you're in the squared circle yourself, Mr. Caleb.
Squared
However, I will say that from a commentator's perspective, it is looking like the teaming of Thortalk and Andrew have this on lock.
Yes, I just went up
No, he's
ringside a
gone.
couple of minutes ago. I refueled some of our contenders there with a bit of water, and I can confirm that the entirety of that bottom half of Andrew and Thortalk is completed. They have just got that ceiling there to complete, which they could potentially get some influence over here from old Jay-Z and company, because they have got that guy completed right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're closing in on the finale here of this puzzle, and we've especially got team writers who are very, very close to completion here.
And you have
Scarily
Josh.
close.
You have Josh over here. He's raising absolute hell. I don't know. He's getting really randy.
This guy's
like,
getting a bit rowdy back here with this SpongeBob shirt. Oh,
yeah, it's not working to his advantage like he thought it would, I think.
No, yeah, he came in here very confident. He was, he's practiced his puzzle. He's big in Japan, this old Jay-Z right here.
Yeah.
And he's practiced for many weeks on end to get this puzzle on lockdown. But maybe crumbling a little bit under the pressure here.
I think that maybe puzzling isn't his strong suit. He suffered a couple of losses this week too. A couple of very devastating losses. Has Josh? He's usually the man to beat when it comes to games such as Wind Waker.
Yeah.
He suffered a devastating loss to Allison over here across the table from him, and I think that really he's feeling the pressure now because he thinks that his greatest opponent is sitting right across from him. It really puts the pressure on him.
So yeah, I think Josh is a kind of guy who historically doesn't really crumble under pressure, but we've seen this new development here. He's getting a little bit stressed out. We can see he's got his glasses on, especially. Maybe he's struggling to see these pieces.
He's really trying to zero in on these pieces hard, Spencer.
I have seen that in the top right corner of this guy. He's been working on this light weld here for maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, a long time.
This SpongeBob here is, maybe stressing out a little bit.
I think so. I think you're onto something there, Spencer. But if we can take a little bit of
Randy Olsen,
a little Randy Olsen of the scene over here, from top to right, we have Team Thortalk and Andrew really pouring it on like white on rice. They already have pretty much 90% of the puzzle done.
Maybe even 90%.
We have Allison over here at the bottom left, really still trying to absorb that puzzle into her brain just as hard as she can, and she's trying really bad. And she's got the hair, she's got everything going. She's just trying to absorb it into her head right here. I don't know how well it's working out.
You know what? I personally think this is going to go quite well, actually, for this team. Because, you may not have noticed, but they are actually quite catching up to Team Marcy's.
No, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very swiftly here.
Absolutely, yes. You got Team Mossy's over here, which Mossy's has switched sides. Of course, he's a crooked commissioner, if that's what he's going to do. Very crooked. And they are, but they're pretty far behind though, Spence. I don't know.
Yeah, it is
I really don't know if they can catch up at this
I
point.
really do want to side here with Team Writers down here. These guys.
I do too.
They've been writing for Zelda Dungeon, Zelda Informer a lot in the past few
Many years.
Andy here, he's made his way up the ranks to a copy editor. He's on the management team now.
Yes,
I do
sir.
believe, and he's leading this team maybe to victory, maybe to third place. I don't know, but they are. It's very important that we do not count these guys out right now.
Perhaps the strategy of being very laid back, very calm and collected Canadian, that seems like it works for a lot of things, but this puzzle is just too intense for him. I think. I really think, Spence, that Thortalk and Andrew have it, and I think Andrew has been the key to this entire game. I think Andrew is really the MVP, so to speak.
He's feeling pretty fresh after this week. He hasn't been here all week. He's been, he's had a couple of days at work.
He's been doing a lot of things aside from the marathon. He's been working his A-double off.
We've got Allison. She's been playing games all week. She's just played like 8 hours of Breath of the Wild.
Right,
today.
she did. I was on her team. We won.
She's getting a little
second
out here, trying to use the board to her advantage here, trying to get some outside information. Whereas Andrew here's coming fresh. He's fresh off a day of work. He had a kit before he came here. And he's coming.
He had a what?
A quick little kid.
He had a quick hip.
A kid.
A kid.
He had a kid?
No kid.
That's British for nap.
It's a nap.
Oh, a kip.
A little snooze.
I had a kip
a little cat nap.
So I'd like to apologize. I took a quick look at the in-ring competition from afar.
AKA a quick dump.
No. I gave Gooey Fame a little back rub. Made sure he was clear to compete in this competition. Things were not looking good for the Goo World Order. It looks like the teaming of Andrew and Thortalk have this on the lock.
Down.
Yeah, and especially since we're missing a lock here. I feel if we had a lock
we are
here,
missing a lock.
Lock had to fly out early today. He had
He had an unfortunate in-ring accident and had to be evacuated to a medical facility in Seattle.
No, that was
Washington.
Vic. That was Vic. No.
Unfortunately, Mr. Locke had before this happened.
Oh yeah, he had to
evacuated to that medical facility, dealing with the rotator cuff issue in Seattle. Hopefully, we hear back from Locke soon. Unfortunately, what happened was he pressed the Y button too much in Hyrule Warriors.
He had
his rotator cuff completely
and a severely deviated bunghole, and he had to go straight to the medical facility.
Yeah, I heard,
but we wish him all the best of
that
luck.
with Slick Vic, who had a deviated bunghole.
Yeah, Slick Vic.
Left him upstairs. Unfortunately, Mr. Spencer Woods discovered him.
I did just
that deviation.
His bunghole was very deviated.
To the local medical facility.
Yeah,
took him in the car. However, it took Spencer quite a good while because he tried starting up the car from the right side passenger side.
Very rookie error. I've been here in Illinois for a little
Vintage
under
Spencer
a week.
tried to drive him to that local medical facility, but unfortunately did not know his left from his right.
To his
emergency room.
To your credit, Spencer, you had the key jammed in the glove box just as hard as you could possibly jam it.
You're not wrong there, Mr. Mosley. But you know what? We escorted Slick Vic down to that the emergency room.
Oh, he's taken care of.
He's taken care of.
I'm actually getting
incredible.
I'm getting a little message here.
He's getting paged in
from hold on, let's see who it is.
Well, while you get that message, we're 3 hours, 8 minutes, 47 seconds into this contest.
It's Slick Vic.
And
he's saying his bunghole's normal.
Okay.
He's good. He will be back tomorrow, and he's fine. So everybody, Slick Vic is fine. Just heard word from the local medical facility.
Yeah.
Vic and his bunghole are intact.
Everyone has a little growing pains every now and then. I've been in that situation.
So speaking of growing pains, it looks like we're dealing with the end of this contest from Thortalk and Andrew. We're on the tail end of this puzzle being completed. Chairs are intact. No one has been bopped over the head with any steel chair objects.
Yeah, we have not seen the steel ladder come into play yet. I've heard there's a couple ladders underneath the table here. Very stainless steel right now.
We have Mr. Goo of the Goo World Order. How are we looking, Goo? Is this a wash? Did the commissioner and his billions of dollars throw any help towards your puzzle contest?
Moss is definitely carrying the team with his skill. You can see his precision here with the box. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I just saw a glare. I'm hoping no one did off my legs over here, but
they blinded me.
He's been doing this strategy the whole time. I think if he had,
flashed a little.
If we had him for more time,
Flash,
I think we would.
You're so funky.
We would, he helped the other team in the beginning, till helping us. And I think he really made a big difference.
Yeah.
Was that known from the beginning, or was that a late minute, like a seventh inning curveball kind of deal?
I'm not sure what the decision really was, but at this point, it's really unlikely we'll catch up. I said they're walking downhill at this point.
I think at this point, Andrew and Thortok are a hot 21 pieces away. It looks like Team Ryder stepping away from the competition. Kristen, the killer, trying his best. Heel Spiteri taking that steel chair. It looks like he's going to hit someone over the head with it.
I really think we're entering the time period where this is like a whole new ball game. You have Team Andrew and Thortok, which, are pretty much 90% of the way done. So everybody else may very well start to just give up and take their time. But really, this is the most crucial period to really do your best. Because Andrew and Thortok, they may just as well be like, we've got this in the bag, let's take our time. But then you got Team Riders down here that may pull out all the stops and just dump a couple of these puzzle pieces down and really come out with a win. What do you think, Kevin?
I'll tell you what, Mosley. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 said it best: apathy is death. And at this point, apathy in this race will lead to a failure, a loss.
You know what?
But you know what happens is one team can only be the victor.
Let me tell you something. It slows down a lot at this point because
you see it all right there.
See the pieces that are left on my team? Mm-hmm. They're all black and green and maybe dark brown. So placing them, they actually got a good thing going with their end because it's more of a lighter color. They're still like a solid color, but it's very difficult to actually place them, especially with these black pieces, because there's about 3 different places all over this puzzle they could go.
Yeah.
And that's been a real challenge, and it's been hard to stare at these pieces.
I guess at this point, though, it looks like Team Thortok is just about to finish this thing up, but what do you think about between the other 2 remaining teams? Like, it looked like for a while there, Allison's team was really falling behind, but I'm not so sure anymore.
It's anyone's ball game. I'd have to throw credence towards the commissioner's team.
Look at the way Moss is assembling these. He looks at the box. He holds the piece. I was witnessing it firsthand because I'm on his team, and he holds it up to the box and he just goes, "Oh, it goes right here," and he just places it. I don't know how he does that. I think our team still has it on lock just because we have Moss helping us.
Oh, it's still anybody's ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless Moss stops and goes down.
Even though it looks like it's Andrew and Thortok's game, which I've said from the very beginning, it is still anybody's game. We can get super confused. Somebody could have lost a piece under the table. There's several factors that could still play into this game, and the excitement is at an all-time high right now.
Very much so.
Excitement is the key word as we're narrowing the approach. We're at pie o'clock right now. 3:14.
Drop a pie.
And 1:43 in the morning, Central Time here. 3 hours, 14 minutes into this puzzle. The amount of focus, determination, and pure chutzpah in this race is astronomical. It's insurmountable at this point. It could never end. We've had a hot 11 players or so in this competition. People are making hot tags, commissioners switching sides, the Moblin Club perhaps switching t-shirts some way through this, people being put to sleep. we are looking at an incredibly close competition. It looks like it's going to end with the teaming of Andrew and Thortok betrayed by the Commissioner, which is the true story here. The Commissioner opting for the teaming of the Goo World Order. And we'll see if that plays out with the rest of the marathon and perhaps into the marathon of 2019. The Goo World Order perhaps a rising faction despite this potential loss in this puzzle race. But you have to look towards the future. It may be one loss here.
I don't know if you noticed this, but Trevor's
battle,
helping
not
too.
Trevor's helping?
He's
Hey, go. Hey, wait a second.
We need to get
Trevor out of there.
No. We need a fifth name on our team actually. Gooey, Josh, Mossy, Spencer, and Trevor.
I put a very good contribution towards this team earlier tonight.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I think I pieced together Link a little bit there.
He got thrown out.
I got thrown out the ring because unforeseen circumstances, but
from a numerical standpoint, it looks like from an orthogonal was decided way long ago. From a numerical standpoint, the team of Thortok and Andrew seem to be placing away those final pieces. Perhaps we get that hot zoom in a bit.
Oh yeah.
It's still anyone's game.
At the end here.
Gooey, I said that 5 minutes ago. It's anyone's game, but really, I think the win is about to go to Andrew and Thortok. I really think
at a hot team of 3,
they have about 16 pieces left to piece this together.
Maybe we can get a donation for Mosley to drop the elbow on that puzzle.
Yes, Mosley.
I'll do it right now. $16.
We're at a good $3,534.94 raised.
Thank you very much.
We have an entire Friday of the Spirit Tracks.
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, our finale for this year's marathon. 6 3DS capture cards, all recorded at once. Majora's Mask 3-player, myself, Mr. Mosley, and Taylor Wells.
It's going to be
and Spirit Tracks coming up next with Mr. Caleb Simpson.
Yes.
I think people will be surprised
and Spencer
by
Woods.
Spirit Tracks. It's going to be pretty competitive.
Spirit Tracks is going to be a very competitive, in-your-face action race.
Yes, everybody stay tuned. Okay, Allison is getting very frustrated right now. She's throwing pieces across the table. She's getting super mad.
There we go. It looks like the final
do we got one
assimilation here.
Let me go to the field and
team
check.
Andrew and Thortok.
Looks like they're missing one
Mr.
piece,
Mosley taking that title.
They're missing one piece.
2 pieces, actually. There's 2 pieces that are just missing.
Now,
looking to go to this table, see if we can complete that puzzle.
Maybe that barrier wasn't enough to give them all of the pieces.
Some difference in the action. Let's see if maybe.
Here's another lowdown about this. Their puzzle was that it was used, so potentially could be a missing piece.
Right.
Some big dissension here going on in the puzzle race.
I believe the
Josh
puzzles were
still
new.
plugging
They
along.
Ordered them in and they showed up this morning, so which was actually just in time.
To be honest, I would literally send it back.
Perhaps sending back this incompleted puzzle in a frame.
So I think my team could actually win still.
The commissioner is still plugging pieces along. The team rider is still putting pieces in. Let's see how this goes. Not quite sure what to make of this puzzle race. The board is being lifted. Puzzle pieces are being stolen. It looks like we're finishing that puzzle.
Oh, that's a good point. Somebody in chat makes the comment that they got to use. I mean,
Massi's may have had some pieces stolen in his
if it was
pockets.
indeed off eBay, that would make sense. That there could be some pieces missing.
Possible. The pieces were ordered to the home of the commissioner.
They still need one more.
For me to question if his allegiance lies with his team or his original team.
Did they find one? So they're just missing one piece now.
It's like one piece is missing. We have our in-ring commentary official, Mr. Mosley, digging around for some pieces in the fields.
We're gonna be doing this all night long.
Well, that was the most intense puzzle assembling I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a breakneck pace. Only 3 hours and 20 minutes. Pretty quick puzzle. I have a massive headache from this.
I thought it was funny how they were calling this the light and dark world tables.
Oh, because the parts of the puzzle?
No, because, well, that's too, the light and dark sides of the puzzle, but
Oh,
also the tables
here.
themselves, light and dark world. That was funny.
Oh my God!
What's the story playing on?
Let's get some video.
What's that? What's the story playing on? I don't know.
XL or normal?
Doesn't matter to me. Oh, pick one.
Over here.
I don't have a preference. Well, a little bit ago, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like an hour ago.
What is this? Oh my God! That's a great puzzle.
It is.
Look, oh my God! Get that camera off of him.
No Macy's help.
That's how I look at it. So we're
No, out
on.
of
We
focus.
didn't get Mashisa's help. That was all us.
No,
Mashi's, get the hell out of here.
Oh, I'm going up to actually
What is this?
heal my knee.
Oh God.
Let me tell you something.
Right on camera.
I hurt my knee. I had to pull out due to injury. We were on the winning track. I was never pinned. That championship is still mine.
Where do we got? Right here in front of the.
If it wasn't for this knee.
I don't know, right?
Look at
What
this.
a game! That was great. What a game, Mr. Mosley. I think the only thing
That was a hell of a match.
that could have made that match better would have
Right
been
here.
a pre-Majora's Mask stunner.
Oh.
To yours truly.
What?
Everything does.
What?
Woo! Let's get the medic in here. Gooey.
That was the worst stunner.
Mr. O'Rourke.
No signal.
No signal.
Alright, somebody come take his corpse out of here.
Let's get this piece of crap out of here. Get up.
Mr. O'Rourke. Dilapidated.
You look like a dilapidated boat.
Boat? No, that'd be Phantom Hourglass.
What are you guys doing?
Oh! Let's get this back in the green.
Oh
room.
no! Oh no!
Yeah, okay. We'll watch out.
You guys are
Where are
gonna.
you going? We got like.
You guys are gonna smash some
Get in the green room if you're gonna do
consoles
this. Come on.
here.
Alright, we're gonna call this one here, folks.
There's like 20,000 slammers worth of equipment here. Let's get the wrestling out of here.
Come here. Let's see what you got.
Who left this?
You want to
right?
see it?
Oh, what?
Get this out of here.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Go chuck that back.
Today,
I'll see you
Okay,
at
bar
some
that one out.
Majora's
You bet.
Mask.
7:30 a.m.
Woo! Woo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the infamous Zelda Dungeon Marathon puzzle. Thank you, everybody who donated throughout the puzzle. Donations are still open for Majora's Mask file names and Ocarina of Time file names. However, as of this moment right here, we're closing the Spirit Tracks file names as our players will be getting their systems ready and plugged into their respective consoles and TVs. Now.
Yes!
Mr. O'Rourke.
Hey, Twitch chat.
Don't worry, Moss will be continuing to plug away at this puzzle. And we'll be keeping you guys updated on its progress through the morning.
I think you sold it better this year.
I think I did, yeah. I fell down. I don't know how well. I want to find that Twilight Princess. I thought you were ready to make